Racing on the freeway.
Here we go!
And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Move it high for Townsend, inside of Walker, behind the defense, lays it in, and he's fouled. Kobe to the line.
It's that high-low look from Townsend straight down the pipe to Awaka, who ran the floor very hard, posted up right in front of the rim. That is a principle for Tommy Lloyd's postmen. Run the floor hard, you'll be rewarded.
That was one of my biggest takeaways from number 10, Arizona's big win over Old Dominion this past weekend, 102-44. The high-low action that we saw, not necessarily with your big bigs on the low side, but your big bigs in Henry Vesar and Moteas Cuevas on the high side, feeding your smaller bigs in Trey Townsend and Tobe Awaka. See if that continues as the Wildcats get set to head to Cheese Country, Cheese, and take on the Wisconsin Badgers coming up this Friday night. And a great Monday to you. Welcome back. We took some time off last week with Arizona football being on a bye, so I think this is our first show, our first official DK on the Sports Tip show in the new time frame that we are in now, with the time clocks having changed all across the country. Only 2 hours now of Rich Eisen every day. You won't get the full 3 hours, but you still get 2 hours of Rich, and I think he's got a number of different formats, video. I think he's on Roku and some other places where if you need to see that 3 hour or hear that third hour, you can go find Rich Eisen. Awesome having him on our station. That's been a great addition to our lineup, and obviously, again, we'll continue to have that for you. I think today it was the first and the second hours. I'm not sure exactly if we're going to continue it that way, giving you the first and the second hours, or the second and the third hours. I left it as the first and the second. At least this week, I think I'm going to keep it as the first and the second hour. Then we'll see. Maybe next week we'll try it as the second and the third hours, and maybe we'll let you guys decide which of the 2 hours of that show you want daily. That might be a question of the day here in the not-so-distant future. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. I mentioned, obviously, Arizona Wildcats football was on the bye. The men's basketball team played this weekend. It was a huge weekend, and even a huge extension into today on the Arizona women's sports front. And we'll start with what happened Friday night at McHale Center and the upset that the volleyball team put on the number 8 team in the country, the Kansas Jayhawks. And this was coming off a Wednesday night performance, which a buddy of mine who follows Arizona volleyball, he's a former college volleyball player, and he texted me after that game, and he said, DK, that is the worst I have seen them all season. The absolute worst. He categorized it as a regression from what he had seen from the Wildcats early in the year. Obviously, they started the non-conference 11-0, but then Big 12 hit, and it's not an easy conference to navigate. Maybe not as difficult as the Pac-12 in terms of volleyball, but still some very solid teams. Kansas being one of those. ASU brings their strong crew to the party. And it had not gone well. It had not gone well at all. 9 losses in their first 11 conference matches for Charita Stubbs' crew. And they were working on, I believe it was a 6-game losing streak, in which they had only won, or maybe it was 4 games, 4-game losing streak, in which they had won just 2 sets in those 4 losses. So a couple of 3-0 sweeps and 2 3-1 setbacks. So things weren't going well. But I had said a couple weeks ago, I said, it's not going to be easy. They had to go on the road to Utah and BYU, and that trip did not go well. But nobody was expecting them to go there and win either of those 2 games. They lost to Kansas State. That was kind of one of those I'd penciled in. They should have beaten Kansas State. That's not a very good program on the volleyball side. If you could get the split, get the Kansas State win, probably not going to have a tough time against Kansas. If you could get out of that last weekend with a split, you've got some teams coming up that are at the bottom of the barrel, kind of where you are. And so you've got a chance to get some wins down the stretch to maybe make this a respectable volleyball season in this first year of the Big 12. Well, they got the split. They just flipped it. They got swept and looked horrible against Kansas State on Wednesday night, but came out and took it to the number 8 team in the country. And Jordan Wilson, my goodness, Jordan Wilson, 37 kills for Jordan Wilson. I saw the number Friday night after the match, and I'm thinking to myself, I could not remember a time when anybody had gotten 30-plus kills. I was like, my gosh, I know that has not happened a lot. And I had to go back into the record books, and I started looking it up, and I'm thinking, man, the last time it had happened was the NCAA tournament in 2016, I believe. Maddie Kingdon had a 33-kill performance, and that was in 4 sets. Maddie did it in 4 sets, so even more impressive than, 37 and 5. But the third, tied for the third best kill performance in a match by an Arizona Wildcat, Jordan Wilson, on Friday night. There have only been 2 performances better than that and 2 others that match that. So 4 young ladies in the history of the Arizona volleyball program have had a match with 37 or more kills. Kim Glass did it twice. She twice in her famed 2005 season. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that might be the year. I know they went there was one year the Wildcats went deep into the tournament, I believe Elite 8. And I think that might have been that 2005 year. She twice had 37 kill matches. Kim Glass, of course, the Olympian for the Arizona Wildcats, arguably the best player ever in the Arizona Wildcats volleyball program. And then Melissa McClendon holds the record, 41. That goes all the way back to the 1980s. 41 kills in a match. That was a 5-setter as well. And then you've got Christy Colson. Christy Colson, second all-time with 38 kills in a match. And then you've got Kim Glass twice. And now you've got Jordan Wilson for her performance on Friday night in an upset, a 3-2 upset, a match in which the Wildcats trailed 2-1. And they won the first set. They were up 20-16 in set 2, and you're thinking, man, they might be about to blow the doors off the Jayhawks. And then the Jayhawks rallied. Down 20-16, they rallied to win set 2, and you're thinking, this is not going to be good. And then they won set 3 that went 29-27, and the Wildcats had 3 set points. They had 3 set points in set 3. They couldn't accomplish any of them, and the Jayhawks come back and win it 29-27, and then you're thinking, man, they fought hard. They've looked good. It's a much better performance than we saw on Wednesday night, but there's probably no way they're winning this match. Well, they did. They got off the mat. They won set 4, and then they got a quick lead in set 5 and were able to hold on and hold off the Jayhawks for the win. So shout out Sharita Stubbs and her team for that tremendous performance on Friday night. So that was the first of the big things that happened on the women's sports side. The other is the triathlon team, the women's triathlon team. In just their second season, dethrones 6-time national champion ASU down in Florida. How about that? Year 2. And the Wildcats are on the top of the board in triathlon, knocking off ASU. Queens University finished 3rd. Queens University is in Charlotte, if you're not aware. Wes Johnson and his ladies, that is just, I mean, it's unbelievable to think that they could get to that point so quickly. But they did. So a national championship, the 23rd national championship in Arizona athletics history. And the first since the women's golf team, Laura Ianello's crew, won it in 2008. So congratulations there to Arizona Triathlon. And we're going to talk to Kelly Wetteland. She finished second overall. She's going to join us in this hour coming up in about 9 to 10 minutes or so. Kelly Wetteland will join us. She finished in 59 minutes and 20 seconds. That was 12 seconds off the lead. A silver medal for Kelly Wetteland. The final thing on the women's side for this weekend was actually today. The NCAA women's soccer tournament was revealed. And unfortunately, despite 11 wins this season, the Arizona Wildcats will not be participating in that event. They had when we heard last week, I think it was last week, prior to the Big 12 tournament, from Coach Becca Moros, she felt good about where the Wildcats were at. I think at the time, they had a RPI in the high 40s, and she felt strong that teams with RPIs in the 40s would get in. But then they lost in the first round to Baylor, and their RPI fell to 51. And then when the new RPIs were released yesterday, the Wildcats had slipped all the way to 63rd. And at that point, you knew there's no way that Arizona was getting in to the NCAA tournament. So unfortunately, that came to fruition. We'll talk a little bit about the bracket. Kansas won the Big 12 championship in Kansas City, but the Arizona Wildcats season is over once again without an NCAA tournament bid. And obviously, 11 wins, and that's a great place to start for this new conference. But you want to get to the NCAA tournaments. It's all about qualifying for the NCAA tournaments. It's all about those Directors' Cup points. And you're not going to get any Directors' Cup points this year for soccer. And unfortunately, you won't get any Directors' Cup points for triathlon either, because that is not a sport that is included currently, because it is still a developing NCAA sport. It is still not a sport that is counted in the overall structure of the Directors' Cup, which is how we judge athletic programs across the country. So congratulations to triathlon for winning, but you're not going to get any points for that in the Directors' Cup. All right, so we can dive into all of that. We're going to talk to Kelly Wetteland today. Also, last week while we were away, the Tucson Sugar Skulls announced that the IFL, the Indoor Football League Championship game, is coming to Tucson for the next 3 years. So we will chat with Kathy Guy. She is the owner of the Tucson Sugar Skulls. We'll find out how they made that happen. Tucson Arena is going to be the site. It has been in Las Vegas, I believe, for the last couple of years, if not last 3 years. And so now that will be here in Tucson, the championship game of the Indoor Football League. We'll ask Kathy how she plans to get her team into a position to make that championship game, because things have not gone. This was probably the most disappointing season so far for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. They were not very good this past year, and they've had a lot of coaches over the course of their run here in Tucson. So we'll check in with Kathy and see how the goal, or I should say the road to stability, is going for that franchise as they try to become one of those teams that could potentially play in that championship game right here in their own backyard. Are you excited about that? Are you excited about a summer where Indoor Football League might bring their championship here to Tucson? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. We also heard today from Brent Brennan, the head football coach of the Arizona Wildcats. It's must-win time, folks. That's all I can say. You got 3 chances to win 3 games to go to a bowl game, which is the final level of the goals. I mean, the goals, obviously, every year to win or try to compete for a national championship. To do that, you got to get into the Big 12 championship. All of those goals are off the table. So your last goal, positive goal, is to get to a bowl game. And you got to win 3 in a row to do that. And one of those is going to have to be down in the heart of Texas against a TCU team that looked pretty good at home over the weekend. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported: Prince and First Avenue and Prince Road, Houghton and I-10 on Houghton at I-10, Oracle to the north of Rancho Vistoso Boulevard. 49 the overnight low, 72 sunny skies tomorrow, and 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Ready Whip. Topping off a dessert or swirling it onto hot cocoa, Ready Whip is here to whip up some holiday cheer. Ready Whip is made with real cream, so pick up a can or 2. Ready Whip.
Wildcat fans, are you ready for Friday Night Football under the lights? Your Arizona Wildcats are ready for a Big 12 conference clash against the Houston Cougars on Friday, November 15th. Kickoff is set for 8:15 p.m. We need you to bring the advantage at Arizona Stadium. Get your tickets now at ArizonaWildcats.com/FB or call the Arizona Ticket Office at 520-621-2287. Bear down. Go Cats.
Wish Black Friday deals lasted longer? Good news! At Oro Ford, Black Friday deals last all month long. Get $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ford Expeditions, Ford Edges, and Ford F-150s. And Oro Ford's the only Ford dealer with 0 city sales tax and no dealer add-ons. Stuff your plate with savings all November long at Oro Ford's Black Friday sale. Take the easy drive from anywhere in Tucson. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
It's another episode in the continuing story of Tobacco Barn's fight to save Tucsonans on their favorite tobacco products.
The other store prices are so high.
I'm Captain Tobacco.
My hero.
Who's responsible for these outrageous prices? I am. Pardon me while I teach this fellow some manners.
At Tobacco Barn, save up to 40%. Pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation. And save up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
When your tobacco savings are stolen, get to Tobacco Barn.
Get up to 40% off. Pay no city or state sales tax. And up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Captain Tobacco, I could just kiss you.
I know, ma'am. Animal magnetism. It's a gift I have to live with.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Or more to the IRS.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. What Lions team has ever had the team of destiny vibe that this team has? Until Dan Campbell showed up in the D, when have the Lions' wins ever felt inevitable? And yet there was no doubt in my mind watching the second half play out last night, no doubt that the Lions were going to find a way to win that game, and unfortunately, no doubt the Texans were going to find a way to lose that game. It was like a slow-motion train wreck that you could see from way up the track. 5 INTs and the Lions still win? 5 interceptions and a 16-point halftime deficit and the Lions still win? Sure, it helps when the other team scores 0 points in the second half, but that says as much about Detroit as it does Houston. Kansas City might be the last remaining unbeaten team, but on paper, the Lions look like the ones to beat.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Lowe's knows you want to get even more value for the holiday. That's why as a MyLowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals on holiday decor, tools, and more. And you earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards to help you save on holiday and more. Not a member? Join for free today at Lowe's.com/MyLowe'sRewards because Lowe's knows deals. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we were talking in the first segment today. Arizona Triathlon wins the national championship in just their second season of existence. They went down to Florida this weekend and bested the multiple-time national champion Arizona State rival Sun Devils, TCU, Queens College, among others. And we are pleased to be joined by junior Kelly Wetteland of Los Alamos High School in New Mexico, who started her collegiate career at the University of New Mexico and now is here at the University of Arizona and finished second overall at this event over the weekend. And first of all, Kelly, congratulations. How did you guys do this in year 2?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Just a lot of determination, a lot of grit. We have an amazing freshman class that came in this year, but it was a dream come true. So,
Kelly, I just want to make sure I have your name. Is it Wetland or Wetteland?
Wetland.
Wetland. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I had that right. Now, I mentioned that you started your career at the University of New Mexico. How did you get here? And did you come here specifically for triathlon, or were you with the swim program first and then you transitioned to triathlon?
Yeah, no worries. So I actually came here as a freshman. I never went to the University of New Mexico.
Okay.
But yeah, I was recruited here to swim, and they started the program my freshman year. So I went and asked the head coach, Coach Wes Johnson, if I could be on the team, and he took a chance on me, which I will always be grateful for.
Now, had you ever done anything like triathlon before? What made you want to go and make that ask to him?
Honestly, I was hoping for just a little bit more out of my college experience. So I heard about the program. I ran in high school, so I was a pretty good runner and swimmer, but I'd never really biked competitively before. So, he came in and he had all these amazing dreams and aspirations, and it just sounded like something I wanted to be part of.
Okay, so you'd never biked before, but you'd swam. Had you run?
I did, yes. I ran in high school.
There you go. We're chatting with Kelly Wetteland, a U of A junior triathlete, national championship winners over the weekend. So you start with the program last year. How long did it take you just personally to feel comfortable with all three of the disciplines?
Honestly, I was pretty nervous at first. So the way that triathlon works is that they recruit a lot of people internationally because it's not as popular in the States yet. But, so coming into a team full of people that were veterans, that were just absolutely amazing at the sport and knew so much about it already was a little bit scary, but they became some of my best friends, and I've learned a lot from them.
So then how did you progress so quickly? What allowed you to kind of be the young performer who could kind of move to the top of the chart in terms of the 5 or 6 athletes that you guys are putting out there every competition?
Oh, man, the hard questions, huh? I would say I was really fortunate to kind of end up somewhere with a great coaching staff like we have here. But I think I've been in sports my whole life, so I've always kind of had a drive to do stuff like this. And so just to be in this environment and to have these people really has allowed me to just become the person that I've kind of wanted to be.
Kelly Wetteland joining us from the U of A Triathlon team. She finished second overall at the national championships. The Wildcats as a team win it. Now, we were mentioning Wes Johnson and kind of some of the things that he does as a coach. He's coached a lot of high-level athletes, as you mentioned. So what were some of the things that you started to learn from him? You're like thinking, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. If I listen to him and put these things into play, I might actually be pretty good at this.
Yeah, oh my God. Just to pick one, I would say he's very sure to make sure, like, he's very thorough in making sure we know that culture is the most important thing. So I think by taking care of the person as a student, as an athlete, as just like a volunteer, a part of our community, we've become kind of this, unit, this unified squad. And then through that, we've been able to achieve kind of these great things individually and team-wise.
Now, we had a chance to talk to Wes prior to you guys going to the event in Florida, and I was telling him, it's like, man, I've been looking at some of these, the numbers and the charts and the tournaments, and I was like, Kelly is like competing with this Naomi Ruff, and it's like, it seems like there's like 15 seconds between them in all of these matches. So what was that like? What was that like competing against her and being so close every time against her?
Yeah, I mean, she's an amazing athlete. I think just being able to compete with her it makes the caliber of the sport just so much higher. So obviously, like, everyone wants to win, right? But just learning a lot from her racing tactics and stuff like that. It gives you a fire, but also just a really big appreciation for what she does.
So now, what point did you guys know that you had the shot to win the national title? I mean, like, was your last leg the run? That's the last leg of this. Like, are at some point while you're running at the end, did you know that at that point? It's like, oh, I'm shooting for a time. If I get this time, we might win. I mean, when did did you not know until the very end? When did you guys find out?
Right. So, I mean, our coaches are all over the course. So they've got walkie-talkies. They've got all sorts of stuff, because the way that triathlon plays out is that you get into certain groups that you bike with. And based on those groups, you get off on the run, and the bike really kind of spaces out the groups. So you can tell, like, if you have 3 or 4 people in the first group, you're in a really good shape. And we had 3 in the first group. So that was looking really good for us because the top 5 score. So we just had to run up 2 of our people. And actually, one of my teammates, Molly Lakustiak, who got 6th this weekend, had just the 3rd fastest run time of the whole event. She had, like, the race of her life. And so like, everyone stepped up where we needed them to. And I think when we really knew we were going to win was when I crossed the line and I saw our assistant coach I saw the tears start to build up, and I was like, oh my God, we can do this, So.
Chatting with Kelly Wetteland from the national champion Arizona Triathlon. You mentioned, obviously, Molly and what she was able to do. Margreta Rablova also finished third right behind you. Tell the folks about some of your sisters on this team and what they've meant to you and what they've meant to this team this year.
All right. I mean, sisters is the exact right word. I have a huge smile on my face. You can't see it, but they've just completely changed me for the better. My life, my just everything that I do with them in mind, and they've made all of us kind of reflect this great energy off of each other that lifts us up in all ways. I mean, it's hard to be on a team like this, right? That's so competitive, and it's hard. You want to be on those top 5 spots, and you want to be, going to nationals, but there's just a certain level of camaraderie that is just kind of among us that the better our team is, the more fulfilling it is for all of us. So, and then I'm so sorry. I want to shout out Lydia Russell, who's our senior this year, who competed, and she ran a sub-17 5K at the end of our race, which is the fastest time in the whole field by 30 seconds. So everyone just had a phenomenal race.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to Lydia a few weeks ago as well. Now, were you, I know a number of the young ladies were also competing on the cross-country team this year. Did you do that or no?
Not yet, but we're actually going to leave on Wednesday to go compete at NC2A Regionals for them. Wow.
Outstanding. Yeah. Outstanding. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool how you guys are, doing that cross competition for that team as well. And as you mentioned, kind of, you would run cross country in high school. Which is your favorite of the disciplines? I mean, you obviously came here as a swimmer. Is that your favorite? Do you now that you've started biking, has that become your favorite?
Man, I would say I really like them all for different reasons. I would say I'm probably best at swimming, but there's just a lot that I get to do that's not just swimming now, which makes it even better, if that makes sense. Just the constant switching and changing is my favorite part, I think, of the sport.
So what are all the folks back in your hometown, back in New Mexico? What have they had to say about you being a national champion and helping this team to win a national championship?
I haven't really gotten the chance to talk to them quite yet, but my parents were there, and it was just such a dream come true to see them. And I've never really seen my dad cry. I saw him cry. So yeah, and then my little sister, who's a swimmer at UCLA, also called me and was just so supportive. And so we're gonna actually we're all going home to my home for Thanksgiving because most of our team is international. So we'll get to see everyone there. But
wow! So
overall,
everybody's going to New Mexico for Thanksgiving.
Yep, little family vacation.
Nice. So what's mom gonna have on the menu? What's on the menu at the Wetteland household?
Yeah, so actually she puts us to work. So we kind of make the cuisine, but I think we do mostly just traditional stuff because we want everyone to get a chance to try a true American Thanksgiving. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food? Oh, that's a tough one. I think probably pumpkin pie. Do you have a favorite?
Pumpkin pie. Well, I love cranberry sauce. I am a big cranberry sauce guy. So and dressing. I'm a big dressing guy too. So dressing and cranberry sauce are probably my two favorite things. But pumpkin pie, I'm not a big pie guy. I'm not, it's just not really my thing. But I know a lot of people that eat it, and I know one of my buddies here, he makes an awesome pumpkin pie, and he always gets mad at me because I never will try a piece of it. But that's
you're missing out. I'm telling you right now.
I know, I am. So now that you guys are done with this portion of the season, what's next? What's next for you? I mean, are you gonna try to compete internationally, nationally, other events throughout the the latter part of the schedule? I know a lot of the girls maybe will. Or I don't know if any of the girls are running track this year. What's kind of next for you in the athletics part of it?
Yeah, so like we mentioned before, in 2 days or so, we're all gonna go to the regional race.
For cross country, yeah.
And then we'll take a little break. And then I think the plan is to really train super hard during the winter and hopefully get to do some world triathlon in the spring, kind of in combination with track. So yeah, and world triathlon is kind of like a international competition type thing. So you have to earn points in those races to get to World Championships, which will be almost a year from now.
Awesome. So where might you be able to go, like outside of the country? Are there places potentially you could go outside of the country to be able to compete?
Yeah. Oh, totally. There are tons of cups and circuits that are mainly in Europe. But the big goal is to get to World Championships for almost everyone on our team in Australia next year.
So what did it feel like to beat the Sun Devils?
Oh, my gosh. In a word, I would say surreal.
Surreal. I love that.
Yeah.
Surreal is a perfect way to put any time that we have a team that can knock the Sun Devils off the top of the podium. That is an awesome thing to make happen. Hey, Kelly, congratulations again on this championship for you and your sister triathletes in just the second year of the program. It's really unbelievable. We had talked about just how quickly this could come together, but I don't think anybody imagined that it would be in year two, and you guys made that happen. So, it's like the expectations are high now. Keep winning titles.
Hey, you and us both, but thank you so much for supporting us and letting me be on here. I mean, just the community support for all of this has been just amazing. So
that's awesome.
We owe you guys one.
Thank you, Kelly, for joining us.
Thank you. Have a nice one.
You too. Kelly Wetteland out of Los Alamos, New Mexico High School, and a swimmer here initially at the University of Arizona, decided she wanted something a little bit more out of her athletic experience in college, and heard about triathlon when the program was added and decided that she wanted to do that. Had never biked before, and found a way through the training to rise to being the number one triathlete for this team that won a national championship over the weekend. Just an incredible story for the U of A. All right, if you want to talk about that, if you've done a triathlon, and you want to talk about triathlons, I don't think I know too many people that have done triathlons. It's always fascinating. I can never do a triathlon because I can't swim. I drown on the first leg and never get to the biking or the running part. But if you've done triathlons, you want to talk about that, love to hear from you. 520-848-1290. Call us, text us, interact on our app. I'll tell you all about that after Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes, as she does on the 5 with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. And collisions that are reported in clearing at Prince and First Avenue and Prince, Oracle north of Rancho Vistoso Boulevard. Midtown roadwork and a closure westbound Elm. Closed between Campbell and Tucson Boulevard all week for paving work. You could use Grant or Speedway instead. On 49, the overnight low, 72, sunny tomorrow, and 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Alaskan AC has been keeping people chill since 1972.
Oh, chill. Cool. I get it. It's a theme.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The theme is 72, as in 1972.
Is that why you dress like that?
$72 for an Alaska vacation.
Ooh.
$72 for a service call.
Neat.
Even $72 off any repair.
Whoa.
This month, it's 72, 72, 72 to celebrate 1972, the year Alaskan AC opened its doors.
And everybody was kung fu fighting.
Everyone was streaking, too. Let's stick to what we do best.
That's right. A $72 Alaska vacation is the perfect way to prepare for the upcoming season. It's so good, we guarantee no breakdowns.
The $72 service call makes it easy to check any concerns.
And saving $72 off any repair means that you can buy one of those cool banana seats for your rad bike.
You have a weird definition of cool.
72, 72, 72. This month at AlaskanAC.com.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, if you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TIP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TIP to 321-321. That's TIP to 321-321.
Back to Eugene Snarkle, rising UberTube star, and his best friend, Doug.
Eugene, you've been working on my car's brakes for 3 days now. Is there a problem? And what's with all the orange stuff on your t-shirt?
Research, Doug.
The orange stuff is research?
No, I'm doing research for my next UberTube video on fixing brakes. I need the Chizo snack food to power my 72-hour video binges. It gets a little messy, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
It looks like the only sacrifice is my car, and maybe that white t-shirt covered in Chizo dust.
So, can you hand me that metal thingy?
You mean this wrench?
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
Eugene, I need my keys. I'm heading to Jack Furrier's.
Great choice, Doug. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the right choice for quality brake service and complete automotive care. You can stop in, call ahead, or make an appointment online at jackfurriers.com. Our 14 area locations are ready to help with fast, friendly service and great prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Families affected by Hurricanes Milton and Helene urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today to hurricane relief by going to redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. If you heard any of the talk surrounding the Dallas Cowboys last week, you heard the same thing over and over and over again. That the offense with Cooper Rush under center was going to look essentially the same as it did with Whack Prescott in the game. And you know what? They were all exactly right. The offense wasn't that different with Cooper Rush in the game. It's still horrible. I'm Jim Rome.
Hey, sports fans, if you're not calling John Anthony, you're simply missing out. To prove it, I release your Monday Night Report absolutely free on a recorded message line, 1-800-244-5506. Miami at Los Angeles tonight is going to be a monster game, and I've got the side and total. Miami, LA, confirmed analysis, college and pro hoops, plus special prop action. That's 5 big plays. John Anthony has you covered. I love to sweep the board. Call now. Hear them for free on recorded message. 1-800-244-5506. Information wins. John Anthony Sports, #1 against the spread. Call 1-800-244-5506. You want the information? I've got it. Miami, LA, hoops, special prop action. I love to go 5-0 this season free. 1-800-244-5506. That's 1-800-244-5506. Or go to johnanthonysports.com.
Sponsored by JFSR Group.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on this program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Joined by my guys. You'll only be able to see one of them today. That is J.W. Madden, because for whatever reason, Dragon Ball's camera is not cooperating with the system.
It's cool. I don't need to be on camera. It's fine.
Well, yeah, I don't think I can. I'm always fortunate to have at least one camera working, not necessarily all three. But you can hear everybody, and that's really all that matters. How about that, guys? A national championship in triathlon in just the second year of the program against ASU, who had won, I think, 6 titles in a row since they launched their program. And you come into this thing thinking, man, how long is it going to take us to even get close to where they are? And in year 2, not only do you get close to where they are, but you knock them right off the pedestal to win it all. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you asked who had done I've done triathlons. That's what I did. I ran 10Ks and triathlons when I was younger. Pole pedal paddle was the best one I ever did. That's Bend, Oregon, where you cross country ski down Mount Bachelor and then you kayak and then you finish on a bike. But as far as the national championship guys, she said it. She came in swimming. She'd never really been on a bike much at all. Ran in high school. The idea of commitment, because think about it. It's like golf. You're not competing against your teammates or the other runner. You're competing against yourself. That's 3 different disciplines where you're trying to maintain a level of endurance to get to the finish line fast. That's basically what any kind of long distance stuff is. So to be able to turn that around from opening up your program and then winning the national championship within 2 years, the commitment to the individual training regimens by each athlete, but also the coaching staff. And as she said, they love watching each other succeed. And that's really what it's all about, Dragon Ball.
Yeah, no, you have to go ahead and make sure you put yourself in a position where you're not overextending yourself, especially when you do 3 different disciplines straight back to back to back like that. And the other part of it that is so intriguing to listen to is that this is, again, they're only their second year of being around. It's not like this is a team that had a lot of experience going into this year from last year. They were a part of maybe 2-3 meets all of last season.
Yeah,
and
I think it was 2.
Yeah, it was like 2 meets all of last season. So it's not like, well, they had a lot of experience coming into this after their first year together. Not really. They just had themselves, and I think that keys into the point that JW was just saying, that you're competing against yourself. You have to make sure you understand where you're at. And probably that worked to their benefit. They knew where they were. They knew who was going to succeed in certain categories better than others. And they can build off of each other with that information. And now you go ahead and you see them perform something similar to akin to the Panthers in their second year of existence in the NFL.
Right.
All of a sudden, their second year, they're competing in the conference championship game with a bunch of people that maybe just didn't get the right opportunities at other spots. And that's really, in essence, what this was. I mean, how many of those triathletes do you think were probably going to try to make it onto the Sun Devils team just up north if they hadn't gotten the opportunity to do it here? I mean, that's just a situation where a lot of those triathletes were not going to be able to compete.
Interesting in that, like when I mentioned, I in the mid 80s and 90s, there were triathlons going on. Everybody remembers watching the Ironman in the 80s, guys. I mean, it was a thing a long time ago. There is not a single sanctioned high school triathlete program in the entire country. So this is not something that's done. You have to play for a club team. You have to not play. You have to compete in the triathletes against other club teams. So it's not as if there is a window coming from high school. What are there, like 44, 45 different schools across the country now?
Yeah.
Now that Arizona joined last year, it's a very burgeoning sport. What I'm getting at is it's only a matter of time before there actually is some kind of level competition on the high school level, and then you'll have student athletes who have a dream to run in that, because other than that, it's just the world championship is really what it's all about.
Now, one thing I do want to ask, though, JW, you mentioned that you did the bend. How is it that it works for the downhill skiing? Because whenever you
cross country.
Okay.
So it's not downhill skis, it's cross country skis.
Okay, because I'm thinking to myself, when I see triathlons and the amount of people that you see, it's a wave of humanity that comes out of the water after
it's staggered. So it's basically a time trial.
Wait, so you did a cross country where it was cross country ski, or a triathlon with cross country skiing?
Yeah, so Bend, Oregon has Mount Bachelor, which gets the most base powder of anywhere it's like 250 inches that year, some kind of crazy number like that. So they get snow well into the spring, which allows for the creeks to not be ice cold, so you can kayak in them, and there's not snow on the ground. So it's that kind of thing. But yeah, it's I can't remember the name of it, but it's those turns where it's a belay or something like that. No, that's rock climbing. The one where you see the guys, they dip their one knee down, and that's how you do a turn. So when you have cross country skis, your heel is not connected to the ski. So it's only your toe that's connected to the ski. So you turn it by lifting your heel up and turning side by side. I did a lot of cross country skiing, but it was really more in a straight line on flat ground. The downhill stuff I never really got. It was more just kind of hold on and hope for the best.
Right. Okay. I was just asking because in my mind, I'm thinking of 60 some odd people going down the snow plains at the same time. And skis, to me, that's a terrifying concept, because one wrong turn and everybody's wiping out.
As you can tell by cross-country skiing, kayaking, and biking, it's not as if the Ironman competitors were there in Bend competing against it. It was really more for a larf. It was really a fun time.
Yeah.
You heard Kelly Wetteland mention a large number of international athletes on this triathlon team. I just wanted to go over some of the countries that were represented. Italy, Douglas, Isle of Man. I have no idea where that is.
It's in England. It's a part of England, but it's not a part of England. You know how UK is like a bunch of different spots that are part of the UK, but not part of the UK because it's messy. Isle of Man falls in that same category.
Argentina, Hungary, Saskatchewan, obviously Canada, Brazil, Czech Republic, South Africa, Slovakia. Those are just a number of the countries that were represented on this triathlon team this year. Kelly, obviously born in Tennessee, but grew up in New Mexico. And we had a chance to talk to Lydia Russell earlier in the year. She's from just outside of Philadelphia, also had competed at the University of New Mexico. And so a number of American-born athletes as well on this team. A nice mix. And Wes Johnson, again, he talked about how, he's a guy that's coached at the international level, so he has those inroads to be able to pluck some athletes from other countries who are interested in coming over here and getting that American education and competing on the collegiate level. And that's how you quickly can put together a team that can be, like J-Dub said, there's not a lot of high school triathlons, if any, that are going on in terms of high school kids. That's something you'd have to do outside of your high school realm. But that's how you can quickly put together a team that's capable of winning a national championship.
Do I have to be the one to ask what's with the Arizona dominance? Because our boy over here's Lumberjacks have won how many cross-country titles in a row?
Meets, yeah.
ASU won 6 consecutive triathlons. Now Arizona's won, so that's 7 consecutive triathlon championships for the state of Arizona, and however many cross countries. Because I know a lot of people who live in, for instance, Colorado or Oregon, very mountainous areas, but maybe not quite the scorching desert valley heat.
Mm-hmm.
I know, back in the day, a lot of cyclists would train in Tucson during February, March. We used to see the postal team all the time riding around Sabino Canyon. So, I know there's a lot of training, and it's a great place around for as far as like looking around the rest of the world and seeing the cold temperatures. We all know Southern Arizona is a great place to be here, but the dominance by those those are all long distance. It's very interesting.
Not to mention, when you mentioned the cyclist part, I remember when the Tour de Tucson used to be a major facet for some people that were doing the cyclist routes for the competitive racing. They would use the Tour de Tucson as a starting point to like, this is when I'm going to start getting into shape with this race, and then move on to other.
When I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, Tucson was voted as one of the best not large 220 million size like LA Valley or New York, but as far as the Midland cities, always voted among the top 5 best cycling cities in America.
Mm-hmm. Among the other schools, there were 14 schools that competed in this event over the weekend down in Florida, just outside of Orlando. Arizona and obviously Arizona State. The only other Power 4 team that competed was TCU. They finished 4th. Queens University, I mentioned, finished 3rd. That's out of Charlotte. Other schools that were involved, Denver University. There's University of Denver again. They know how to ski. They know how to do triathlon. They're right up there.
So many outdoorsmen train up there. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Ultra marathoners up there, too.
San Francisco, University of San Francisco, South Dakota, East Tennessee State, Duquesne, Delaware State, and Hampton, a couple of HBCUs, Navy. You got to imagine that maybe they could be a school that could get to the top of this thing
just to enroll in one of the, one of those academies, you have to be in crazy fitness.
Yeah, Wagner and Northern Kentucky were the other schools to round out the 14th that competed in this event over the weekend. Arizona, though, finishes on top, 942 points. They were 22 points better than Arizona State, their rival. They were 47 points better than Queens University, who finished 3rd, with Kelly Wetteland, who we just talked to, finishing 2nd with a time of 59:20, so 59 minutes and 20 seconds. And I mentioned how many times she had gone up against the young lady from Arizona State, Naomi Ruff, and Naomi Ruff finished in 59 minutes and 8 seconds, so 12 seconds faster than Kelly Wetteland. And I think that was the 3rd meet that they had competed in against each other. And both of those meets, Naomi Ruff beat Kelly Wetteland, by no more than 15 seconds. I mean, they were all that close the times that they competed against each other. Naomi Ruff from Arizona State is your individual national champion.
750-meter swim, 20-kilometer bike, and 5-kilometer run.
Correct. Exactly. Kelly did the swim in 9:21, and she did the bike in 30 minutes and 34 seconds, and she did the run in 17 minutes and 54.
And for those of us Ironman aficionados who used to, the best part is the transitions. The best part is transitioning and how chaos. You talk about chaos, Dragon Ball. Like the transition when a bunch of people hit the transition at the same time.
I forgot to ask her about this because I saw one of the pictures, and initially I was like, do they have to bike barefoot? Because I saw people running with no shoes on, but what it is they've got the shoes already attached to the bike, the pedals, so they just jump on, and then they put the shoes, they slide into the shoes. I thought that was kind of I meant to ask her about that.
Especially
I totally forgot.
And these disciplines are not super long. You're talking about under an hour.
Right.
So when you have like such a tight time crunch, you got to make sure you get those transitions as fast as possible. So if you can avoid taking shoes on and off, the better.
I mean, it's similar to like with the team sprinters and stuff like that for those long distance runs. The handoff of the baton might be the most. Some people would view it as some of the most over practiced things on the Olympic scene. But if anyone's in those teams, they know if you don't get that baton handoff down right when people are in full sprint, then you're wasting precious seconds that you can use to try to get in front of the next team.
Well, ask the American men about that one right there. All right. DK on the sports tip. Hour number 1 in the books. Much more coming up. We'll talk some Arizona football, Arizona basketball, and Tucson Sugar Skulls in the next hour. But first of all, a lot happening in sports across southern Arizona as well as around the world. And David Amata, Dragon Ball, has that for you.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Well, Wildcats football comes back from their bye week as Brett Brennan gave comments on what the team is focused on during their bye, with the possible bowl aspirations now hanging on by a hair going into the final 3 games of the season.
I thought it was good. You know, it gave us a chance to really get back to some fundamental football, playing good on good, giving all the players a chance to, do a little more individual time, so you kind of get a chance to go back to a little bit of fundamental work. I thought it was really good. And then for our, all 3 phases of our team, it's a great opportunity to get into some self-scout and find out what our tendencies are and what are the things that keep showing up that we like to do and how we become predictable in any way.
Again, the Wildcats have to go ahead and finish with a 3-game winning streak, starting with their next game against Houston if they hope to go ahead and maintain bowl eligibility at the end of the season. Up to the NFL level, it was a dominant game from Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. He showed the Jets his dominance going through the air and the ground on the day with scores.
First and goal. Dortch again lines up in the backfield. Murray near side to Harrison. Over the shoulder. Touchdown.
Watch Marvin Harrison Jr. in the slot. He has the entire sideline to work with. Does that ball location get any better?
Coming up on the 4-minute mark in the third quarter. Murray running that read option. Murray stutter stepping in. Touchdown. And they are putting it on the Jets.
I tell you what, they're doing whatever they want.
Again, the Cardinals did do whatever they wanted, staying atop the NFC West with their 4th straight win. Marvin Harrison Jr. currently leads all rookies in touchdowns with 6 catches, the 6th one that you heard so far on the year. And Utah Athletic Director Mark Harlan did not mince words after the Utah Utes loss against BYU on Saturday, saying that the game was absolutely stolen from them and was, quote, disgusted by the professionalism of the Big 12 officiating crew. The conference was quick to reprimand the Utes AD, fining him $40,000, with Commissioner Brett Yormark saying that the comments were irresponsibly challenging to the officials and the integrity of the Big 12 conference. Harlan said that he will accept the fine in a statement last night. And I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported: Grant and Tankerverde and Grant Road, Prince Road and First Avenue, I-10 eastbound I-10 approaching Tangerine, and also from earlier Oracle to the north of Rancho Vistoso Boulevard. 49 the overnight low, 72 sunny tomorrow, and 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show. The NFL's Dan Campbell, head coach of the Detroit Lions.
You got a good Parcells story, Dan Campbell? Man, I got a million Parcells stories. I'm going to be a star. I'm going to go to Dallas and start. Bill tells me straight up, I'm just telling you right now, he goes, we really like you. Man, you fit here, but you're a backup. I was so heated. You know what? Yeah, I will come here and sign as a backup just to prove you wrong. It's like a mind trick.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TIP to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text TIP to 321321. That's TIP to 321321.
My helmet saved me after they crashed into my motorcycle, but I still couldn't ride for weeks. The insurance company tried hammering me into a quick settlement. No way. I gave them the bird, the eagle, Goldberg and Osborne. Nobody knows Arizona like the eagle. Phoenix to Tucson, Flagstaff to Havasu, and every bit of blacktop in between. Wherever you go, the eagle is there. So if you've been injured, don't wait. Give the insurance company the bird.
Give them the bird. Call the Eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Is Cialis Daily really better than Viagra?
If you like spontaneity, the answer is yes. So when the mood strikes, you're ready to go.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
When you take it, you're ready to go.
Does Cialis Daily last longer than Viagra?
Guys are raving that their results last even longer.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Are 30-day sample packs available?
You can now access a 30-day sample pack at TryRexMD.com with generics at just $1 per tablet, if appropriate. Online approval at TryRexMD.com is simple, with medication delivered direct to your door. There's no copay, no doctor office visit, and your shipping is always free. Visit TryRexMD.com to get your sample pack. That's TryRexMD.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of the Jim Rome Show. Rich Eisen and DK on the Sports Tip.
You know, this is vastly different. There's a lot of clapping, a lot of hugging, a lot of handshaking.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Snap to Murray, drop straight back, a fade, right corner of the end zone, Harrison. Oh, what a catch with one hand for a touchdown! Marvin Harrison Jr. hauls it in with his right arm. Just a gorgeous drop in the bucket by Murray. Spin the pig, Kyler! Spin it!
I don't think I have ever heard that one from our guy, Mr. Wolfley, on the analyst there. Spin the pig, Kyler. Spin it. He's got some sayings, but I don't know if I've ever heard that one from Ron Wolfley before. That was a good one. I like that one, though.
I don't know. Nothing's ever going to top calling Larry Fitzgerald the Japanese fighting fish for some reason. I don't know why. That one always lives in my head rent-free.
Let's talk about the suddenly hot Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals football. The most complete coverage of your Bird Gang is right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, that was the call on the radio network from Dave Pash and Ron Wolfley. 31-6 on Sunday over the New York Jets up at State Farm Stadium. Kyler Murray, 22 of 24, throwing the football. He had 17 straight completions in this game for 266 yards. That lone touchdown pass you heard there to Marvin Harrison. Let's hear some of the highlights from the game on Sunday.
Still no C.J. Mosley in the middle of that Jets defense. Murray, little twirl around. This is Connor, catch and run. Connor breaking free, gets inside the 15. He's still going. Connor lunges. Touchdown. Jets rushing for Murray, throws a dart. Trey McBride slowly becoming a star in this offense. 3rd and goal. Murray, boy, did the Jets come across prematurely. Murray! It's a Sunday stroll into the end zone. Murray feels the pocket start to muddy over the middle and completes to the tight end. Boy. McBride still going. Trey McBride putting it all on display. 1st and goal. Dortch again lines up in the backfield. Murray near side to Harrison. Over the shoulder. Touchdown. Rodgers escapes. Rodgers, football's out. Disaster for the Jets. And Arizona's going to get it back. Murray running that read option. Murray stutter stepping in. Touchdown. And they are putting it on the Jets.
Kyler Murray, 2 rushing touchdowns in this game on 3 carries. Again, he threw for a touchdown pass. The running game, though, I mean, just really impressive. Just the number of different options with James Conner, obviously. Trey Benson having a big ball game, scored his first NFL touchdown last week. Comes back with 62 yards this week. And Trey McBride, is there a better, I guess the guy from San Francisco might have something to say about it, but is Trey McBride becoming the best tight end in the NFC?
In the NFC, that's...
Would George Kittle have something to say about that?
I mean, George Kittle probably would have something to say. I think you still got to look at T.J. Hawkinson with the Vikings.
He's with the Vikings. He's with the
Vikings now. I think that overall, McBride is having a couple of really, that was a showcase game for him. Absolutely was a showcase game for him. The hurdle he had after breaking the Sauce Gardner tackle was something to be, that's going to go on a highlight tape at the end of the season for top plays of the season. But overall, I think that he's really starting to coming into his own right now as a serious threat with Kyler Murray adjusting and trusting the outlet pass. That's been the one thing about Kyler's game that's always been a little bit iffy. I feel he tries for the big pass too often. He doesn't look for the underneath route as much. He knows he's got his deep threat in Marvin Harrison Jr., and he's utilized that connection very, very well in their first year together. 6 touchdowns, as I mentioned, leads all rookies with touchdowns on the season so far. But Kyler's starting to look for some other guys to make plays and trusting them to make plays after the catch. He's not trying to get all the yards through the air on his arm. That's a big thing. And then when you add the running game, like you said, that's a running game that's going to be difficult to stop because there's a number of guys, including Kyler, that can do some damage on the ground.
And you look at James Conner, 5 catches, 80 yards as well, coming out of the backfield. Marvin, 5 for 54 in that game with the touchdown. Trey McBride, 4 catches for 71 yards. A big win, 31-6. We talked about it a few weeks ago, guys. Going into this stretch of 4 games, you had 3 of them at home and a road trip to Miami to face the Dolphins. You were sitting at 2-4, and I said, you got to come out of this 3-1. Best case scenario, you come out of it 4-0. Well, best case scenario, and not only did they come out of it 4-0, but right now your quarterback is playing at a very, very high level. Let's hear from Kyler, who said, hey, just keep it simple.
Guys did a hell of a job up front. My job just put the ball in their hands and let them do what they do. And try to get completions, and that's what I did today. That's I try to just keep it as simple as possible. And the guys, they made plays. They made plays for me all day, and it was great to go out there and feel the way we felt today. To be able to execute, felt like no matter what they did, we had a good day today offensively.
Is it possible for you to like Trey McBride more than you already did?
I mean, I think he's the best. I think he's the best. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself or anything or, put any pressure on him. I mean, I know the work he's put in. I know what type of athlete he is, what type of player he is. And it's good to see, people taking notice as to what he does each and every week, when the ball's in his hand.
Putting the ball where you wanted it, you completed a franchise record 17 in a row at one point. Did you feel like you were hot, like with your placement of the ball? I mean, is that a thing?
Again, I just when it feels like that, it's just trying to keep it as simple as possible. Not trying to do too much, and I mean that's the best I can put it. Letting the game come to you, and taking it one play at a time. I really have no secret sauce for getting in the zone or making plays and stuff like that. It's just again trying to take one play at a time and execute what Drew calls.
All right, we'll hear from Trey McBride coming up a little bit later as well. 31-6, the Cardinals knock off the New York Jets. They are 6-4 now, heading into the bye week, which was obviously, again, where we wanted this team to be going into that bye week, coming off those. Because, again, they're going to play the majority of the second half of this schedule on the road. So there's still a lot of hurdles to climb for this team, but they put themselves in a really nice position now. Half game up on the Niners, who are 5-4. The Rams obviously will play tonight. We'll dive into that. They've got a home game, Monday Night Football, coming up against the Miami Dolphins here in just a few hours. But 4 straight wins for your Cardinals heading in to the bye week. All right, we are joined by the fourth member, of our program. You should be able to see her today, and that will be Cricket. There you go. You can see Cricket.
Hello.
Dragon Ball is invisible today. Can you see him? Because I can't see him at all.
You can't see me?
I can't see him at all over there. Cricket, how was your weekend?
Good, too short.
Too short?
I can't hear JW because there's something wrong with my headphones.
I wasn't talking.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking. I was just pointing.
He was pointing at me saying that I was.
Is invisible.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think if you, no, you can't because I have him plugged in. Yeah, we have headphone jack. We have a lot of issues. We have camera issues. We have headphone jack issues. We're just.
And that's just beginning.
The ship is falling apart. We're trying to hold it together with tape here.
Nah, we're good.
Right now.
He's coming off the bus.
Yeah, so we haven't talked to you, I think,
it's been a long time.
since so real quick, we don't have a lot of time. Maybe we'll get into this at 5 o'clock. But Halloween, how'd it go?
It was super fun.
Yeah?
It was fun. Yeah. I won't say we ran out of candy, but we were getting really close. So, yeah, we were down to the Down to the end. I was like, man, we should have got more. I spent like $70 on candy.
Jesus.
And so we were, okay, it's time to bring the lights in and shut.
Okay.
I mean, not to be a Grinch, but, I don't want to. Sorry, we don't have
Is
any
there
left,
such thing as is there a Grinch for Halloween? Is there a name for that?
And I didn't have anything left, so.
I don't know. Like
not to be an angel of death.
Right, yeah, something like that.
Well, you've got something for us, don't you? What do you
do.
got? You got something? Does Cricket have any tickets, or what do we got today?
We've got a really delicious sweet deal on Friday.
Oh, sweet deals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do we got? Sweet deal.
Our sweet deal on Friday is from Goyitas New Mexican Cuisine, where you'll pay $25, but you'll get $50 to spend. They've got 2 locations. They've got a location in Oro Valley at Lambert and La Cañada, and a brand new location in Green Valley off of Duval Mine Road. And what is so tasty about Goyitas New Mexico Cuisine is that they come up, well, first of all, it's homemade recipes and handed down through 3 generations. And it kind of combines this New Mexican style cuisine with authentic Southern Mexican cuisine. So it's chef's
Have you
kiss.
been there?
It is so good. I have been up at the one up in north in Oro Valley. So good. And they've got
Is there a chef's kiss for Mexico? Because I'm sure that would be something different.
That's maybe like something else, but I will absolutely say it just, it's
There
so
you
good.
go. All right.
But you can also, by the way, this is very important. You can pre-order your tamales now.
Ooh.
This is very important. Remember that.
holiday season's coming up, man. It's coming.
It's coming, man. Like they've got green chili clam chowder, gorditas, and green chili cheeseburgers, and so much more. And our sweet deal on Friday morning at 8:30 at wildcatsradio1290.com.
All right.
It's gonna sell out.
Goyitas.
Mm-hmm.
Goyitas. Get on that. Again, Friday morning, 8:30, wildcatsradio1290.com. That is where you can find all of our sweet deals. All right. Cricket is also getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got the traffic and the weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported: Columbus to the north of Pima, La Cholla south of McGee, Grant and Tancaverde, and also Prince Road and First Avenue, with some backups on southbound First Avenue approaching Prince Road. 49 the overnight low, 72 sunny skies tomorrow, and 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ReadyWhip. This is the sound of holiday happiness. Yeah, ReadyWhip. Fun to use, fun to eat. You're not ready for the holidays without ReadyWhip.
Alaskan AC has been keeping people chill since 1972.
Oh, chill. Cool. I get it. It's a theme.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The theme is 72, as in 1972.
Is that why you dress like that?
$72 for an Alaska vacation.
Ooh.
$72 for a service call.
Neat.
Even $72 off any repair.
Whoa.
This month, it's 72, 72, 72 to celebrate 1972, the year Alaskan AC opened its doors.
And everybody was kung fu fighting.
Everyone was streaking, too. Let's stick to what we do best.
That's right. A $72 Alaska vacation is the perfect way to prepare for the upcoming season. It's so good, we guarantee no breakdowns.
The $72 service call makes it easy to check any concerns.
And saving $72 off any repair means that you can buy one of those cool banana seats for your rad bike.
You have a weird definition of cool.
72, 72, 72. This month at AlaskanAC.com.
Wildcat fans, are you ready for Friday Night Football under the lights? Your Arizona Wildcats are ready for a Big 12 conference clash against the Houston Cougars on Friday, November 15th. Kickoff is set for 8:15 p.m. We need you to bring the advantage at Arizona Stadium. Get your tickets now at ArizonaWildcats.com/FB or call the Arizona ticket office at 520-621-2287. Bear down. Go Cats.
Year after year, Lerner Rowe is voted best personal injury law firm in Arizona. You may wonder why. The answer is quite simple. Lerner Rowe is so popular because we give every client excellent service and a superior experience. But also the main reason is results. We've recovered billions of dollars for our clients with over $1 billion collected in the last 5 years alone. Our phone lines are always open and our legal team is standing by right now, waiting for your call.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new DayQuil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
The holidays are here at the Home Depot, so let's get to decorating. Find your perfect tree in our huge assortment of shapes, sizes, and styles. Like the easy-to-assemble Jackson Noble Fir, with pre-lit branches perfect for styling with all your favorite ornaments. Or the Flock Starry Light Fraser Fir, with over 1,900 pre-lit memory wire branches that keep their shape so it's ready right out of the box. Ooh. Find the perfect tree now at the Home Depot.
Make Dave & Buster's a part of your weekly rituals. Military Monday, get extra gameplay on your card. Tuesday night is trivia night with great prizes. Thursday is extra credit with student discounts on gameplay after 9 p.m. Stop in Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch specials. Want more? Rewards members will get an extra 100 chips with the purchase of 100 chips and Sunday sips for hospitality workers. Full and quick service restaurants, hotels, and amusement parks. Discounted beverages and apps after 9 p.m. only at Dave & Buster's.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
Families affected by Hurricanes Milton and Helene urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today to hurricane relief by going to redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. I'm Rhett Lewis with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Chiefs remain undefeated after blocking a Broncos potential game-winning field goal to hold on to win 16-14. Kansas City now 9-0. Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdowns as the Steelers beat the Commanders 28-27. The Bills are 8-2 after holding off the Colts 30-20. 49ers kicker Jake Moody missed 3 field goals, but made a 44-yard game winner to beat the Bucs. Jalen Hurts threw for 2 scores and ran for 2 more as the Eagles dominated the Cowboys. Kyler Murray had 3 total touchdowns in the Cardinals' 31-6 win over the Jets. The Saints stunned the Falcons 20-17 in interim head coach Darren Rizzi's debut. Panthers beat the Giants in overtime in Munich, Germany. The Vikings held off the Jaguars 12-7. The Chargers beat the Titans 27-17, and the Patriots beat the Bears 19-3. And on Sunday night, the Lions rallied from a 16-point deficit to beat the Texans 26-23. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusion.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. The Tucson Sugar Skulls are bringing the championship of the International Football League here to Southern Arizona. This is a pretty big deal that has happened. This game has been in Las Vegas for the last few years, and the Sugar Skulls have found a way to get it here to Southern Arizona, and that will be for the next 3 years that the International Football, I should say the Indoor Football League championship game will be here. This is in conjunction with the team as well as Rio Nuevo that helped to bring this to the Tucson Convention Center, the Tucson Arena, which is the home of the Tucson Sugar Skulls. And this is something that could be pretty huge for our city to have this type of spotlight shined on it for this championship game every year that is in the indoor, I should say, football league. It's a league in which the Sugar Skulls have been in here now for a number of years here in southern Arizona, still trying to find their footing as a team in the indoor football league. They've had a number of different coaches that they've employed and trying to find that rhythm are the Sugar Skulls as they, I believe, begin to enter into year number 8 coming up this summer. They started back in 2009, so actually it'll be year 7 coming up in 2025. Let's talk to the owner of the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Pleased to be joined by Kathy Guy. And Kathy, first of all, congratulations on getting the Indoor Football League championship game here to Southern Arizona. How did this all come about?
Oh, hi, how are you? Thank you. We had a conversation with the league as a board that actually runs the league along with the commissioner. And Vegas has been the host for the last 3 years. So the agreement was up for renewal, and the league was looking for options to see, who else may be able to host it, who else wanted to host it. And what really happened in the long run is that, Tucson was the first team to come up with a proposal, come up with the funding that we were able to work through Rio Nuevo, the Rio Nuevo district. And they were really great to work with. They worked really quickly. So we were able to get a proposal in there before anybody else could really get out and try to find anybody else to be able to host it.
So what were some of the things, I guess, what was the league looking for maybe that they weren't getting in Vegas and they thought they might be able to find something else in it? Did you guys kind of have an idea of what some of those needs were and thought that Tucson would be a great place that could provide those?
Sure, yeah. So primarily, the league wanted to have a city that already has a team to host the game because it already has, a built-in base of fans. Also, that everything would be centrally located because it is a 3-day event. We'll have all the coaches, ownership, and obviously the teams that will be playing in the game will come to Tucson. We'll have owners meetings. There is a media day. There is a banquet that is held the night before the game, and then the game happens on Saturday. So everything needed to be centrally located, which works really great with the downtown district, where we have, restaurants, hotels, the arena's located there. So it was able to meet all of those needs that the league was looking for.
Kathy Guy, owner of the Tucson Sugar Skulls, is our guest. The Indoor Football League championship game is going to be coming to Tucson, starting with the 2025 season. So what was your first thought when you heard, okay, it's a go? We're getting this game.
Oh, we were super excited because it is good for the Tucson community. I mean, the game is being nationally televised on CBS Sports. So it not only brings attention to Tucson, obviously, because we are the team that already plays there, it brings some attention to our team. I mean, we're still trying to build our base, and we have grown over the last 6 seasons. I know we've been around 7, but as everyone knows, during COVID, there was no season. So we're still trying to build our base and get more fans in the building. So having this event coming to Tucson, which is, the Super Bowl of the Indoor Football League, puts more attention on us and the team. And obviously that will help, getting more fans in the building, getting more corporate partnerships, in the team with us. So, I mean, it's great for the league. It's great for Tucson. But obviously it was also great for us.
And obviously, Kathy, you guys have been a part of this league for a number of years. Your husband, Kevin, obviously runs and coaches the the Arizona Rattlers up in the Phoenix area. There's been a lot of success with that particular franchise. You guys have had 3 playoff runs here down in Tucson, but maybe haven't been able to duplicate that success that you guys have had up in the Phoenix area. Have you kind of maybe figured out the model of what you want this franchise to be moving forward?
Well, we've always tried to assimilate the model. I mean, the Arizona Rattlers have been around for 30 years, and they are one of the most successful franchises in the league. So yes, we try to assimilate and use the same methods that the Rattlers are using, as far as, building the team and bringing in good coaching. But it takes time. Like I said, the Rattlers have been around for 30 years. This is our 6th active season in the market. So, like I said, we're building and growing, but it does take time. I mean, we have not been around. I mean, not even a third of what what the Rattlers have done.
Obviously, you mentioned a number of coaches. Different coaches have coached this team. You've got Billy Back, who was hired last year. Do you feel like you've got the right guy?
Yes. So we had Marcus Coleman, who was the coach during our expansion year. Then we had the opportunity to bring Dixie Wooten to work with the team, who was a successful coach in the league, had already won a championship. He was with us for 3 years. We made a change with Hurtis, and he chose to leave after the first year for personal reasons. And obviously, that's something that is out of our control. So when he left, we brought in Billy Back, who's also been a successful coach around the league. And it's a transition. This past year was not great, as based on our record, but we did have 10 games that we lost within a touchdown. So I think, getting some kind of continuity as in the head coach position will definitely help with having success on the field. So Billy is coming back for the 2nd year, and he's recruiting a great team from what I can tell. Obviously, when I'm the owner, I run operations on the business side. We let the coach do his job. He brings his assistant staff. He brings in the players, and we let him do his job. So we do. We think we have the right guy. Like I said, it takes some time, and we are looking forward to being successful both on and off the field this coming season.
Kathy Guy, owner of the Tucson Sugar Skulls, is our guest. Kathy, I think the question that everybody wants to know is, how does this dynamic work with you and Kevin at home?
It's funny because, Kevin he runs the Arizona Rattlers organization as far as football operations, and he's also the president. So obviously he's got input on the business side. And I run the business side and for Tucson and the daily operations of what goes on with the team. Obviously Kevin's been successful. He has a lot of experience. So there are things that I will check on with him to say, hey, what do you think about this? And that works well as far as the business side. Like I said, on the football side, because it is a competitive game, the coach does all that. We don't get involved in that piece because it doesn't, just because both coaches are competitive, Kevin as well as Billy, and we don't want there to be any impropriety or anybody to think, that there's something inappropriate going on. Obviously both teams want to win, and on any given day, the best team's going to win on the field. We haven't been as lucky in Tucson yet, but we have beat the Rattlers already. So we're only hoping to, build from there.
So does Kevin does he have a private room at the house where he goes to conduct business, and do you have that room bugged?
He does. I mean, he is on that phone 24/7. You know, and it's easy to just ignore because I mean there are things that obviously, and I'm sure that if there's something that he really doesn't want me to know, he is famous for walking outside. So he'll walk around outside and talk on the phone.
It's got to be a very interesting dynamic to be both owners in the same league, living in the same household. Who do the kids favor?
It's funny. Well, you know, our daughter went to the U of A and she just graduated. So she's always, if there is a game, and let's say the Rattlers and the Sugar Skulls have a game on the same day, like she'll come with me and our son will go with him.
Oh,
so we're kind of, you know, we kind of split ourselves that way. But yeah, obviously, you know, both Kevin and I want Tucson to be successful. Obviously, this is where we have focused our efforts financially, time. You know, we've put a lot of work into bringing the team. So we want the organization to be successful. No matter what, no matter, you know, whether Kevin works for the Rattlers, which obviously he's a coach and he is competitive. He wants to win, but that's only 2 times out of the year that we play each other.
Yeah.
Maybe in the playoffs if we make it that way, but you know, his focus may be on the Rattlers during the season, but obviously we both want Tucson to be successful.
All right, let's hope that we can get those two teams in the first IFL championship game right here in Tucson. That would be an unbelievable series of days here if we could make that happen. So
yes, well, unfortunately, the way that the championship game works.
Oh, that's right. You guys are in the same conference, so we can't do that.
Right, we're in the same conference, so we could play it, you know, in the semifinal, and then you know, one of us will make it to the final game. But the way that it is built right now, it's the East versus the West. We're both in the same conference, so it would not happen. But if there are 3 teams in Arizona, so if any one of our teams makes it to the championship, I think it would be, we could definitely fill that arena. Because when we have regular season games and the other Arizona teams come to town, their fans always travel. So I don't think that there would ever be an issue where, you know, we would not have a packed house.
All right. I don't know. I don't know though if I like seeing my friends Crystal Soto down there wearing Rattler stuff during the postseason. That rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute, you're a Sugar Skulls person, and now you're going up there and supporting the other guys during the postseason. I don't know if I liked that part too much, but so you got to tell them they can only work for us. How about that?
Oh, well, you know what? Because both organizations do work very closely together, there is some overlap in some of our positions, and it just works great so that we can build and learn we're learning from them. But yes, they do support both organizations, and that's not, you know, that's just what fits best for our business model right now. But I get what you mean.
All right, I guess I'll have to accept that then.
Yeah.
Kathy, appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. Congratulations on getting this big event here to Southern Arizona. The more huge events like this we can get down here for our folks and our fan bases is a great thing for this community, and we will look forward to chatting to you again when the season gets closer here.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate the time.
Kathy Guy, she is the owner of the Tucson Sugar Skulls. The Indoor Football League Championship game is coming to Southern Arizona for 3 terms beginning next summer. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to hearing Cricket's traffic report and weather report, as we do every 20 minutes on the 5s right now.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported: Columbus north of Pima, La Cholla south of McGee, Grant Road and Tanque Verde, also Prince Road and First Avenue. Also reported northbound I-19 near Irvington, but haven't spotted any major backups on northbound I-19 near Irvington. Weather-wise, 49 the overnight low, 72 sunny tomorrow, and 79 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Ready Whip. Topping off a dessert or swirling it onto hot cocoa, Ready Whip is here to whip up some holiday cheer. Ready Whip is made with real cream, so pick up a can or two. Ready Whip.
DJ on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
They've locked the doors. You cannot get into McHale Center now. A safety move by the university.
The stories we talk about the athletes who met each other and then eventually got married because all of the weight training used to be done in McHale.
Do we feel bad for the football players? They don't have that interaction anymore?
Just to clarify, you're asking if we feel bad for football players maybe not being able to get dates easily? Is that the question? Because I don't think that's a problem. I don't think it's a problem at all.
No,
we're in the era of NIL, DK.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Stay up for some late night hoops. I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with BetQL. Pacific and Hawaii tip off at midnight Eastern, so if you're looking for some midnight madness, look no further. The BetQL model is backing the home team. BetQL has Hawaii -4 as a 5-star best bet. I'm Joe Ostrowski. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Back to Eugene Snarkle, rising UberTube star, and his best friend, Doug.
Eugene, you've been working on my car's brakes for 3 days now. Is there a problem? And what's with all the orange stuff on your t-shirt?
Research, Doug.
The orange stuff is research?
No, I'm doing research for my next UberTube video on fixing brakes. I need the Chizo snack food to power my 72-hour video binges. It gets a little messy, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
It looks like the only sacrifice is my car, and maybe that white t-shirt covered in Chizo dust.
So, can you hand me that metal thingy?
You mean this wrench?
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
Eugene, I need my keys. I'm heading to Jack Furrier's.
Great choice, Doug. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the right choice for quality brake service and complete automotive care. You can stop in, call ahead, or make an appointment online at jackfurriers.com. Our 14 area locations are ready to help with fast, friendly service and great prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
It's another episode in the continuing story of Tobacco Barn's fight to save Tucsonans on their favorite tobacco products.
The other store prices are so high.
I'm Captain Tobacco.
My hero.
Who's responsible for these outrageous prices? I am. Pardon me while I teach this fellow some manners.
At Tobacco Barn, save up to 40%. Pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation. And save up to $3 with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Hooray! When your tobacco savings are stolen, get to Tobacco Barn.
Get up to 40% off. Pay no city or state sales tax. And up to another $3 with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Captain Tobacco, I could just kiss you.
I know, ma'am. Animal magnetism. It's a gift I have to live with.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wish Black Friday deals lasted longer? Good news! At Oro Ford, Black Friday deals last all month long. Get $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ford Expeditions, Ford Edges, and Ford F-150s. And Oro Ford's the only Ford dealer with zero city sales tax and no dealer add-ons. Stuff your plate with savings all November long at Oro Ford's Black Friday sale. Take the easy drive from anywhere in Tucson. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
This
is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. When looking at QBs for the 2025 draft, Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward are my two favorite signal callers. I've been out on Carson Beck for weeks, and Dylan Gabriel and Quinn Ewers to me are second-round picks. However, Jalen Milroe's draft stock is going to be fascinating. His awareness against Tennessee was terrible, but then he has games against LSU and Georgia where he's just an athletic freak. To make the argument that he shouldn't be, but I do believe that he'll end up being a first-round draft pick. I'm Zach Gelb.
Hey, sports fans, if you're not calling John Anthony, you're simply missing out. To prove it, I release your Monday Night Report absolutely free on a recorded message line, 1-800-244-5506. Miami at Los Angeles tonight is going to be a monster game, and I've got the side and total. Miami, LA, confirmed analysis, college and pro hoops, plus special prop action. That's 5 big plays. John Anthony has you covered. I love to sweep the board. Call now. Hear them for free on recorded message. 1-800-244-5506. Information wins. John Anthony Sports, #1 against the spread. Call 1-800-244-5506. You want the information? I've got it. Miami, LA, hoops, special prop action. I love to go 5-0 the season free. 1-800-244-5506. That's 1-800-244-5506. Or go to johnanthonysports.com.
Sponsored by JFSR Group.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Snap to Murray, drop straight back, a fade, right corner of the end zone. Harrison, oh, what a catch with one hand for a touchdown! Marvin Harrison Jr. hauls it in with his right arm. Just a gorgeous drop in the bucket by Murray.
Spin the pig, Kyler! Spin it!
Spin the pig, Kyler. Ron Wolfley, color analyst on the Arizona Cardinals radio network. We got a text from our guy Paul in Phoenix. He says Ron Wolfley's other new one this season is Red Run. Can we say it in a Ron Wolfley? Red Run. I can't do a really good Ron Wolfley there. Red Run. And in fact, there's Paul goes on and says, in fact, there's a local Redbird Farms chicken that is sponsoring and giving out T-shirts with the phrase Red Run on it, kind of like from the movie The Shining. And, of course, in The Shining, it was Red Rum. But now I've heard Ron Wolfley say that. I think I did hear him say that once or twice this season, Red Run. I think he uses that on a touchdown, on a hard touchdown.
But the whole point of Red Rum in The Shining is that backwards it spells murder. So what does Red Run spell backwards?
Nerder.
There is no backwards for that.
Good job, Ron.
Nerder.
Good job.
Yeah. You're exactly right, though. You're exactly right. It was murder backwards. That's for sure.
So red
Shining.
rum would just be wine, wouldn't it?
Wine.
I don't think rum can be red.
Red rum.
I don't drink, so I have no way of knowing this, but I feel like that's just red wine at that point.
Red wine.
Do you know why red is wine?
Why red is wine?
Why wine is red?
Why?
Excuse me?
No, because the grapes are red.
Yeah, because of the color of the grape skins. So white. Yeah.
That's why the green grapes are the white.
Or the white
right?
wines. Yeah. I only like to eat green grapes, though. I had grapes for breakfast. I routinely have grapes for breakfast, but just green grapes.
Everybody loves a big bowl of grapes and milk for breakfast.
Absolutely.
But you don't drink milk.
All right, Trey McBride. We talked in the first, we heard the highlight earlier on of Trey McBride. Who does he think he is? Does he think he's Tanner McLaughlin? Hurdling these defenders, much like Tanner did when he was here at the University of Arizona.
It was funny
in college.
Hearing Dragon Ball break it down because he was so excited about the hurdle. And then I was like, wait till you hear what he had to say about his hurdle.
Yeah, well, let's hear Trey McBride on his hurdle.
Never did track, so I just read and react, and it's worked a couple times. So.
Do you have a realization of who the guy is when you're leaping him, like if it's a smaller guy or a bigger guy?
Absolutely, yeah. That definitely goes through my mind. I don't want to jump over a linebacker because those guys, usually the DBs tackle me a little bit lower. To tackle a tight end high is kind of hard. So I expect them to tackle me low, and I kind of just run and jump and hope for the best.
This was never a thing until this year?
Yeah, never really, planned on doing it, but it's been, like I said, it's been effective the last couple of weeks. It's been good. Don't want to continue doing it, but
like I said, it's been effective and it's helped our team win.
Before that play, even before you hurdled on that play, I mean, you were a good 4 yards short of that yard to gain before when you caught it and Sauce was on you.
Yeah.
And you're spitting out. Is that all just instinct? Are you just trying to fight through to get to the? I mean, what's going through your head?
Yeah, it's third and 6, 5, whatever it was, and I ran about like a 2-yard route. I kind of had to get out of Mike's way. And Sauce was on me real quick, and like I said, it's hard to tackle tight ends high, and that's a prime example of it. He tackled me a little too high, and I was able to kind of shrug him off a little bit and continue to get the first down. I didn't know quite where the marker was, and then like I said, I saw the DB getting ready to tackle and just reacted out there, playing fast as I can. You don't have a lot of time out there to read and react, so just kind of do whatever that first instinct is. And I guess the last couple of weeks has been to jump, and hopefully I can, tone back on that and just kind of continue to play football.
I don't know who the assistant coach was on the sideline. I mean, if when you watch this play, he gets knocked out of bounds, and there's some assistant coach who was about as geeked up about the play as any coaches I think I've seen in a long time. But I mean, yeah, but he's right. I mean, and we've seen him break tackles like that a number of times in the last couple weeks. He's a strong tight end.
He lets him know, too.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's I'm just going to read this. Who's this guy? Let's see. Alfred Brown. He hosts a show called Football Guys Fantasy Football on Twitter. He says, I'm just going to say it, Trey McBride is the best tight end in the NFL.
He's currently 15th, guys, in total receptions.
Yeah.
In the league.
And saying TJ Hawkins.
Total.
In the league.
In the league.
Yeah, total. In the league.
And earlier when I said TJ Hawkinson, I would probably put above him. Hawkinson's only been back for 2 games because he had a lot of injury concerns. Based on talent, I'd still put Hawkinson above McBride, but with what he's done this season, absolutely, I would say that he's probably at
the only
number
guys
2.
who are outstatting him currently are Travis Kelce and Brock Bowers, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And George Kittle, I think, has more yards than him, but even then, he's still getting the targets. And earlier I said that was the one thing I'd like to see from Kyler, is that he's looking for those underneath routes a little bit more. And not only that, but this is a team right now with their pass catchers. They're dominating against some of the more impressive matchups. Like just in that game, again, before the leap Trey McBride had, he broke out of a tackle from Sauce Gardner.
Right.
Pretty good,
who a lot of people are saying is
over
a
the
great
middle,
coverage corner and a good sure tackler. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. on that fade into the back corner of the end zone, he beat DJ Reed on a one-on-one from the slot. So you're talking about 2 guys that a lot of people put into the conversation of being potential all-pros at their position defensively, and those guys are winning their one-on-one matchups with them on the field. So that's another big boost.
It's helpful when you can run the ball, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's helpful when you can run the football.
Can we please give Noah Fafita some routes like that,
right.
please? Tight end across the middle.
I think week 1,
what
DK.
happens? I mean, you break a tackle, and it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Week 1, right? T-Mac had 600 yards and 19 touchdowns. And that very first show, after that very first game where they were very successful, you said, I'd like to see a few more routes over the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Give me some of those for our guy, so he can get going and we can get this offense going and we can win these 3 games and shut up the Sun Devil people and go to a bowl game. All right, let's hear one more from Trey McBride on the emotion that he's bringing to this tight end position and the comparisons he is starting to get to the aforementioned Travis Kelce.
The tight end position seems like it breeds a lot of characters, just generally, the Travis Kelce's of the world and everything. Why do you think tight end is such sort of a emotional position? It seems like it's one that gives the team a lot of juice.
Yeah, I feel like it's just, you're asked to do a lot. You're asked to block in the run game. You're asked to, make plays in the pass game. So I feel like when you're able to spring a run on a good block, it's so exciting. And then when you make a 3rd down completion and you convert that 3rd down, it's just like so emotional, such an emotional game. And when you're out there having fun and bringing juice, I just feel like it's very contagious. And I'm an emotional player. I play with a lot of emotion. And sometimes when I'm out there yelling and screaming and stuff, it kind of brings everyone with me and brings the juice. It's been a lot of fun, just winning a few games, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
I heard from JG and Kyler yesterday. He said,
you're the best, and you talked about guys like Kelsey. Do you hold yourself in the same regard? Do you care about that?
Obviously, it's very cool to hear that from a guy throwing me the ball, the head coach. But at the same time, I feel like I'm a really good tight end. I know what I'm capable of doing. I don't want to compare myself to a guy who's played 12 years or anything like that. That's not what I'm doing. But I just try to be who I am, be the player that I can be. And, if they think that's what it is, then that's what it is. But I just try to take every day, get better each and every week and continue to bring juice and excitement to this team.
Juice.
He says they say you bring the juice 4 times. I mean, there has to be a Phoenix-based juice company where you can bring the juice, and there you go. It writes itself.
Get an NIL deal?
Sure, maybe? Something like that.
An NIL deal? Well,
sure.
You know who's calling for NIL deals in Phoenix? One Mr. Kenny Dillingham, after his quarterback, Sam Levitt, went out once again and put on a performance to help the Sun Devils beat UCF. That was a team that had annihilated the Arizona Wildcats. Listen to what Mr. Dillingham said about his quarterback and who should be on him.
The fact that that dude has 3 years left, every company in the state should be calling him for an NIL deal. Every company, people should be throwing cars at him. They should be throwing condos at him. They should be throwing whatever they can throw at him to be excited. Like, people should rally behind that. People should be fired up about the opportunity to build around that. And I'm just glad he's here.
Does that sound like a coach who maybe wants his player to stick around for the next 3 years?
He doesn't sound like a coach. He sounds like an agent. He sounds like that. He sounds like the Jay Moore character that we saw on TV all those years.
That's why they love this guy, though. That's why they love Dilly.
The pleading nature of that, the undertone of that is, hey, guess what? The Sun Devils are having a great season relative to recent memory, their last few years, and was a freshman, going to be around for 3 more years. You better start throwing condos and cars at this kid, because the alternative to that, guess what, is some other school will throw cars and condos at him. So
there you go.
And they just had an experience of that with Jaden Daniels, so they got that fresh in their memory.
Absolutely. So, I mean, again, here we are. Can you imagine? I don't know if I could imagine Brent Brennan coming out in the press conference and saying that right there. Somebody better be throwing cars at him. Somebody better throwing condos at him. Whew. We have arrived.
It's got to be a line from Blue Chips.
We have arrived.
That movie Blue Chips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with Shaquille and Penny and all those guys, and they were getting paid to play basketball.
Man.
That movie so long ago. Throwing cars and condos.
All right. DK on the sports tip. Much more coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Dragon Ball has everything happening in sports around Southern Arizona and the world.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Well, over the weekend, Tommy Lloyd and the Arizona Wildcats continue to have the strong start with the past Saturday win over Old Dominion. But even in a dominant game, they did have some struggles at the free throw line, which Coach Tommy did address after the game.
We need to step up and make them, and hey, you're right. There always is you win a game like this, you do have to look at things like that. We're not going to make a big deal out of them. I think we're going to be a really good free throw shooting team in time. And it'd be nice if time was next Friday in Madison. With that, I'd be happy with that. So, we're gonna take a look at a few things, and but we have good players, we have ballers. So, I trust these guys are going to be great free throw shooters.
And again, that team only shot about 62% from the line. That's an 8% drop from their first win on the year over Canisius, where they shot 70%. On the women's side of things, the Dia Barnes squad came up with a win against UC San Diego despite struggling day from shooting from beyond the arc, shooting under 30%. It was Braid Cunningham leading the way for the Cats, scoring 16 points in just 19 minutes worth of work as they got the 11-point victory, their third win on the season. And Giants head coach Brian Daboll is saying he is non-committal on Daniel Jones returning as the Giants starting quarterback following another troubling performance he had over the weekend out in Munich, which you heard here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Jones completed just under 60% of his passes, 190 yards, and threw 2 interceptions in a loss to the Panthers. If Jones is benched, it would presumably be Drew Lock's opportunity to take over the starting job for the G-Men. And I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With collisions that were reported in Clearing, Grant Road and Tanca Verde, Prince Road and First Avenue. We had a collision reported northbound I-19 near Irvington and some light freeway slowing on northbound I-19 north of Irvington. On 49, the overnight low tonight, 72, sunny tomorrow, and is 78 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Back to Eugene Snarkle, rising UberTube star, and his best friend, Doug.
Eugene, you've been working on my car's brakes for 3 days now. Is there a problem? And what's with all the orange stuff on your t-shirt?
Research, Doug.
The orange stuff is research?
No, I'm doing research for my next UberTube video on fixing brakes. I need the Chizo snack food to power my 72-hour video binges. It gets a little messy, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
It looks like the only sacrifice is my car, and maybe that white t-shirt covered in Chizo dust.
So, can you hand me that metal thingy?
You mean this wrench?
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
Eugene, I need my keys. I'm heading to Jack Furrier's.
Great choice, Doug. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the right choice for quality brake service and complete automotive care. You can stop in, call ahead, or make an appointment online at jackfurriers.com. Our 14 area locations are ready to help with fast, friendly service and great prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Tune into Wildcats Radio 1290 weekly for Brett Brennan's football press conference, where you can catch up on all things Arizona football this season. Sponsored by Coors Light. Choose chill. Official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows. And save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC+. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit Philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's PHILO.tv TV.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona football, along with Arizona football play-by-play. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip
with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names. David Scott Kelly.
Bucks waiting for the snap. Placement is down. Let's just kick. It's blocked. It's blocked. It's blocked. The Chiefs blocked the kick. They're going to stay undefeated. The Kansas City Chiefs blocked a 35-yard field goal attempt. Kansas City wins this game on a blocked field goal.
9-0. The Chiefs, what have they won? 15 games in a row, I think, now, dating back to last season, including the playoffs. They find a way to win. That's what great teams do. They just find ways to win. They continue to have the best record in the National Football League. DK on the Sports Tip. David Kelly, J.W. Madden. Dragon Ball. We actually now have a visual, at least, of Dragon Ball up there. So there we go. You can't actually. His camera's not working, but we got visual there, so we can put up the 3-shot and you can kind of see Dragon Ball.
Is he wearing Steelers gear?
He's not in that. He's wearing Steelers gear here. That's one of the reasons why the camera probably broke.
Right.
Is that he's wearing Steelers.
The camera's
James
protesting.
Harrison.
Yeah.
But hey, big win.
Cam
Big
Hayward.
win.
Cam Hayward.
Oh, by the way, we gotta we have to get our girl Jody Luna on this hour, Jack. So Jody Luna we didn't have shows last week, but we did something different for our Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. We sent out a call, or sent out the invite to play on social media on Friday. So we sent it out on our Instagram, on our Facebook, on our Twitter pages, and Jody Luna called in to be the contestant. And the game that we picked was the big game of the weekend, the Steelers and the Commanders. And the Commanders won that game. I'm sorry, the Steelers. I want David to jump over here and try to punch me out. The Steelers won that game by 1 point. Jody, though, picked the Commanders to win that game. And so, unfortunately, Jody does not win the money. She does win a prize pack. And next week, or this coming week, I should say, the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge for a second time this season is going to be worth $100.
Yeah, so basically, for those who aren't paying attention, the first 4 weeks, the caller guessed correctly. So there was $25, $25, $25,
Right.
$25. And then there was a 3-week stretch where nobody picked correctly, up to 100. That was one. And here we are back again. So
Here we are back again.
4 consecutive correct picks by the callers to start the season, not so much recently.
There we go. So how did the Steelers get that done yesterday?
They went ahead and they survived a close one because this was a game that was mired in the fourth quarter with some questionable calls on both sides. I think, honestly, the biggest one that everyone's going to clamor about is the Zach Ertz placement on the 4th down play.
Yeah.
I think that he probably got it on the initial catch. His attempt to go to the ground and then recollect is what had him be maybe a half yard behind. But there was also a holding call that was missed in the end zone on the prior drive. So it should have been a 2-point for the Steelers, and then they got the ball back. But again,
that's such a fan thing to say. It's like, sure, this call that my team got was good, but they totally missed a goal on the last drive 4 plays ago.
And it's true. I don't like saying it that way because it does sound a little bit posh.
It's I'm not calling you out. It's literally how every single fan talks.
Every single
Everybody
fan talks.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
But there was that. In the end, it was a solid game from the Commanders. The Commanders have nothing to hang their heads on this one. This was a very good game by them. Dan Quinn has that team in a very good position right now. They still, I think, are probably the team to beat in the NFC East moving forward. I think the Eagles still have a lot of high-end talent, but how far that high-end talent takes them is the question. As for the Steelers, now we're into the harshest part of their schedule. They're going to have 6 division games over the last 8 contests that they have on the season. So it will be interesting to see, including 3 straight in division, starting with Baltimore this next week.
All right. Big win, though. Big win in that game yesterday against the Washington Commanders. So we'll see if we can get Jody back on the show later in this hour before we get out of here. We don't have any more guests this hour, so maybe we'll get her on before the show is out. Commanders are back at it. They'll be our game this coming Thursday on Thursday Night Football at the Eagles, so that'll be a good NFC East matchup coming up. And the Texans are Sunday Night Football for a second straight week. Was that game was that a flexed-in game, that game this past weekend? Because the Texans, it's very unusual for them to have 2 Sunday night games in a row, but they will play the Cowboys on Sunday night, and you'll hear that game right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. We are into our 5:30 phase of the year. So all of these games now, coverage begins at 5:30 versus 4:30. So that means a little bit longer show for us. We'll actually be down at Illegal Pete's on Thursday. Bear Down Thursday this week, live from Illegal Pete's on University from 3 to 6 as we get you ready for the Wildcats and the Houston Cougars coming up Friday night at the stadium. Our appearance at Illegal Pete's for Bear Down Thursday is sponsored by Corona. For fans of the fine life, Corona is an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
Did you know that Coach Tomlin's never had a losing season?
I have heard that.
That's why I was saying last week.
I heard rumors last year because they were not great. That there were some fans like maybe it's time to move on. And I'm looking at this dude's overall record, and the grass is not always greener.
The grass is not always greener, and the biggest part about it is that some of those were 8-8 seasons. Yeah. Some of those were 9-6, 9-7. There's a lot of times where looking at it, a lot of fans are upset over the lack of playoff success recently. I mean, the last playoff win was almost a decade ago. We're still going back to the old Killer Bees era for that win against the Dolphins. But in the
how much cachet does a Super Bowl championship carry with? That's a decade.
It's about a decade, maybe less than that. If you've still felt that the title window was open for a while,
it depends on the franchise.
It depends on the franchise. I think that Tomlin, this is probably one of the better coaching jobs he's had in a long, long time, particularly at the quarterback position, because Justin Fields looked like he had a very good hold on that starting job. Then they switched to Russ, and now all of a sudden a new facet of the offense in the deep ball seems to have been implemented, and it's done wonders for them. I mean, George Pickens had another insanity catch in the end zone this last week. I think that this is a guy who has some of the best body control in football, but I am impressed to see where this team goes now as they get to that meat grinder of the AFC North part of their schedule.
That's how you fill a segment. You just asked Dragon Ball to give us a few thoughts about his Steelers.
Well, I know how to make this thing work. I've learned that real quick. Especially when they're playing well, you get a lot out of him. Time now for our BetQL top plays. We did pretty well over the weekend. 4 out of 6 winners between college and NFL football. And we've got 2 to give you for tonight's Monday night game, which you can still get in on. Michigan plus 14 was a solid play as Indiana only won that game, but Indiana won that game. So how about the Hoosiers are going to, I think they play not this weekend, but the following weekend against Ohio State. It's going to be interesting to see if they can stay with Ohio State. But regardless, there's a lot of people that think Indiana is in the playoff right now.
I mean, they're undefeated.
And they're a squad that has shown to be pretty competitive. I mean, they've beaten some pretty solid teams right now.
The issue is, they defeated Michigan and Washington, UCLA. These are all teams that have had good years recently, but aren't necessarily good teams this year. So if you look at their overall resume, they don't have one of those top 5 solidifying wins of, yes, this team has to be in the playoffs. And that's where the argument comes. If a team in a Power 5 conference or Power 4 conference, whatever the hell we're calling it anymore, a team like that, they stay undefeated, you're pretty much a shoo-in. And looking at their schedule, other than the Buckeye game coming up, there's not a lot of heavy hitters.
Right. And even then, I still think it's interesting that we're still putting Penn State above Indiana, considering the fact that Penn State has had a history of not winning that big game. I mean, James Franklin got chewed out by the fans leaving the field after the Ohio State loss for that reason. So I'm interested to see how well Indiana does against Ohio State, but this is going to be a game that has a lot to do with what the NCAA playoff picture is going to look like.
Air Force plus 10.5 over Fresno State. That was a solid play this weekend. The Falcons won that game by 8 over the Bulldogs. We did not get the win on Florida State and the 26.5 against Notre Dame because they absolutely crapped the caboose.
What was the stat,
South
Dragon
Bend.
Ball?
What's that?
What was the stat?
So it's the first time since football was starting to rise up as an organized sport in Florida. This will be the first weekend, if Miami does not win tonight on Monday Night Football, that every FBS, FCS, and NFL
That's
team has
crazy.
lost in the entire state of Florida.
Every single one of them. So we're talking Florida, Florida State, Central Florida lost to ASU. We're talking Florida International, Florida Atlantic, and I mean, all those schools lost this past weekend. Buccaneers, Jaguars, and the Dolphins got to save the bacon tonight against the Rams. And that's one of our plays, one of our 2 plays. We have 2 plays on this game tonight. Dolphins, this is our BetQL model. Dolphins plus 1.5 in Los Angeles. That's the BetQL play tonight. I don't think I'm taking that.
I don't know if I like it, particularly in the sense that we just had something break where Tyreek Hill said that he's playing with a torn ligament in his wrist, but he's playing through it. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Plus, Jalen Waddle has not looked good the past couple weeks.
So this is me this weekend. Tyreek Hill. Can I start him? Nico Collins. Can I start him? I started Nico because there was talk that he was going to play, and then of course he was inactive.
That's that opening the practice window does not mean it was start.
Basically, and then Mike Evans was inactive as well this weekend. So I got 3 really good receivers, but none of them are going to play. None of them are going to play. So I actually need Tyreek to play because I think if he plays, I might actually have a chance to win if he just does something moderately good today.
All he needs to do is get in some trouble on his way to the stadium, and he'll have a great day.
Mm-hmm. All right, Devin Achane, running back for the Dolphins, who's also a pretty good receiver out of the backfield. Devin Achane, I believe it is, over 42.5 yards receiving.
It doesn't sound like a bad deal because, again, you're seeing a lot of the offenses within the first 5 yards. It's not as explosive right now with Tua throwing the ball down the field. So I'm expecting to see a little bit of early dump-offs to Achane to open up the game at the very least.
And apparently when Tua plays, he has high receiving yards. That's been the play so far this season. Other game, we had the Falcons. That game did not pan out. Falcons minus 3.5. They lose that game by 3. Chargers minus 7.5. That was a winner as they beat the Titans by 10 points yesterday. So 4 out of 6, not bad. Well, I think we are plus what now? We're plus 22. Plus 22.
There you go.
So there we go. Bet our bets because you're going to win some money being plus 22 over the last 60-plus plays.
A win is a win is a win.
There you go. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us. You can text us. We'll read your text on the air. Download our app, Wildcats Radio 1290 app. You can interact with our app by way of text, audio, and or video pictures. Send us pictures of wherever you're going, however you're hanging out. We'll hear from Brent and Brennan coming up, as well as a pretty big ball game for Ben Matherman. Brent Brennan, Ben Matherman. Two guys that love the U of A.
Ben had his stroke going last night for sure.
Oh, yeah. As he did. He did for sure. Suns, though, their winning streak came to an unfortunate end at the hands of the Sacramento Kings. The only team that continues to win at large is Cleveland.
KD a little bit
play.
sore too.
Didn't play. All right, Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Ina near Old Father, collision on Ina to the east of Old Father with some westbound slowing. Big widening project east and westbound Grant Road, east of Country Club to east of Alvernon Way down to one lane. No left turns permitted at Grant Road and Alvernon. And also, due to that widening project, Dodge Boulevard is closed north and south of Grant. 49, the overnight low, 72, sunny tomorrow, and a 77 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC Original Recipe Tenders, made with their secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. These tenders are so flavorful, they'll start a chicken tenders battle. Get 3 tenders, fries, and new comeback sauce for just $5, only at KFC.
We are Tucson's home of the NFL. Sunday, Thursday night football.
Wide open for Mahomes.
The NFL playoffs.
He high steps it in for the touchdown.
And the Super Bowl. This is Tucson Sports Station, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Tune into Wildcats Radio 1290 weekly for Brett Brennan's football press conference, where you can catch up on all things Arizona football this season. Sponsored by Coors Light. Choose chill. Official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
At Wildcats Radio 1290, we're not just radio. We're your source in Tucson for digital marketing solutions. We specialize in creating strategic and effective marketing campaigns designed to get results for your business. Whether you want to target a local, regional, or a national audience, we have the right solution for your business. Call the Wildcats Radio 1290 business line at 520-887-1000 and put Cumulus Digital Media to work for you.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Wildcats Radio 1290 and Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers, are proud to support the University of Arizona basketball radio broadcast on Wildcats Radio 1290. Listen on your smart speaker, on your phone, or on your radio. Get all the info at wildcatsradio1290.com/listen.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. I often get asked, how can Lerner & Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal cases when you guys are a personal injury law firm? The answer is simple. We're good at it. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a separate law firm from Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state. And with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Craving one-of-a-kind New Mexican-style cuisine? Visit Goyitas New Mexican Cuisine, where authentic Southern Mexico flavors meet family tradition. Now, enjoy the same delicious homemade hatch green chili recipes by visiting Mama Goya at their newer location in Green Valley. With 8 TVs to watch your favorite game, a full bar, and a private room. Goyitas is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, or your next holiday party. And yes, you could pre-order your tamales now, just in time for the holidays. Whether you're in the mood for delicious delicious homemade green chili clam chowder, gorditas, or green chili cheeseburgers. Enjoy Goyitas made from scratch recipes. Located off Duval Mine Road in Green Valley, or the original location in Oro Valley on Lambert and La Cañada. Visit GoyitasNMCuisine.com. Goyitas, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Goyitas. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The NWSL quarterfinals grabbed center stage over the weekend, capped off Sunday by two thrilling matches decided in the final moments. First, defending champions Gotham FC stunned the Portland Thorns when midfielder Rose Lavelle scored a winner in the 97th minute to send her team through. Perhaps even more improbable, the victory by the Washington Spirit, who scored twice in the final 10 minutes to defeat Bay FC after trailing 1-0. Washington center back Tara McKeown scored an 86th minute equalizer to keep the Spirit alive, and she likes what she sees in the growth of women's soccer.
It's so amazing. We feel all the energy from the fans. And I think it just shows like how much women's sports are growing in women's soccer, and it feels amazing to be a part of this right now.
Washington will host Gotham in the first semifinal Saturday. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amy Lawrence on Westwood One.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from one Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We've got 2 segments to go on this Tuesday. We're talking NFL football. Cardinals big win, 31-6 over the Jets. We got Monday Night Football coming up here in a few minutes. It's the Dolphins and the Rams. Our BetQL top play of the evening is to take the Dolphins plus 1.5 on the road. I don't know that I'm taking that though. I think I'm taking the Rams on that game right there. But BetQL says to take the Dolphins. All right, our Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge game from this weekend was the Steelers and the Commanders, and our lucky contestant was Jody Luna, and she rejoins us now on the program. Jody, you chose the Commanders, and it did not quite work out for you, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes. And when you first asked me, my gut was telling me the Steelers, but then, the stats were like they were playing at home and, they were like a 2-point favorite. So I'm like, I'm just going to go with the Commanders. But it's okay. I mean, it's a toss-up, 1-point game,
And Jody, Dragon Ball here is a huge Steeler fan, so he's sitting here gloating and smiling. And I'm surprised, Jody, because you are a U of A, you're a faithful U of A a fan, that you would go with Jaden Daniels, who wore the
Former
mustard.
ASU,
Exactly.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I know. But I didn't even realize Jaden Daniels was the quarterback. I don't know why that didn't register. And then, it's okay. And that's why I don't bet, because I'm not a good bettor.
Well, you got to follow our betting tips, because you'd be up 18 points right now, because we're winning a lot lately.
I bet. Yeah. No, but that was, and the sad thing is I didn't even see the end of the game. My husband and I were at Sam Levitt's picking up a couch, and they had the TVs on in the store.
Is that the one that's closing down?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And
My wife and I were talking about this. My wife and I were talking about the same thing. We need to go over to Sam Levitt's and see if there's anything on discount over there.
Yeah, they have good deals for sure. So then my husband's like, oh, yeah, I think the Commanders are going to win because it's a minute left. They were driving. They were, like, in field goal range. And so we got home and we turned on the TV, and it's like, nope, they lost.
Yeah. Russell Wilson didn't have great numbers, but he threw 3 touchdown passes in this game. What's up with that?
Yeah.
What's up with that, Dragon Ball?
Hey, when everything's 2 yards away from the end zone, I mean,
they're
that's
all short passes.
That's all short passes.
Okay, all short passes.
I saw him throw one bomb, and then I saw him get picked too. But he threw a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
now that fumble on the 1 yard line, I was starting to sweat it out pretty bad. I'll tell you what.
Do you go out to watch football on Sundays, Jody? Or are you an NFL fan?
No. I like college. I watch all, not just the Cats, but I'm a big college football fan and basketball and softball. I love college sports. I mean, it used to be better before the whole NIL thing. I feel like it's losing its passion,
Did you hear what the coach at ASU said after they won this weekend?
No, what did he say?
He said that the fans should be throwing condos and cars at his starting quarterback because he's got 3 years left to play.
Oh my God, Dilly, huh?
Yeah, that's Dilly. That's what Dilly said. He said we should throw some condos at our quarterback.
People should be throwing cars at him. They should be throwing condos at him.
Gosh. And what about Scattaboo? Is he done? Is his eligibility
up? I don't know. I think U of A better hope he doesn't play in that game coming up in a couple of weeks. I would be hard pressed to think Cam Scattaboo doesn't play in 3 weeks against the Wildcats.
Right. I know, and that's too bad. I mean, I'm the optimist, but let's just win on Friday and let's see, where that takes us. Hopefully.
One step at a time, right? One step at a time, yes. Jody. We got to win Friday to get to next Saturday. By the way, that game next Saturday has been flexed into the 6-day window, so we did not get a start time on it today, so we still don't know what time the Wildcats will be playing down at TCU.
Okay, well, that'll be good.
Jody, you don't completely lose. You still win a prize pack for your participation in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, and that's got some really cool stuff. Since you don't go out to watch football, if you have game day parties or Sunday, if your husband wants to have some friends over, there's some really cool stuff that he can use to jazz up his tailgate, his game day party.
Cool, he'll be happy. Yes.
There you go. So you can pick that up anytime between 9 and 5, Monday through Friday here at the station.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jody. We appreciate you listening.
Okay. Take care.
You too. Take care. All right. Jody Luna in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. So Thursday, we will do this again. And the contestant on Thursday, for the second time this season, will have a chance to win $100. And no, John Bailina, you cannot play. You've played way too much recently.
What about his brother?
Tom cannot play either because Tom played a couple of weeks ago as well. So no.
So you're just
no one named Bailina
off
can
the card.
Participate.
Do not call us if you are Bailina.
If you are Bailina, do not call us. Please don't. No, you'll be. We'll talk to you, but then we'll hang up.
I love John. He's great.
He's a great guy. Great guy. Both him and his brother are great people. So good to talk to. Jody there. All right, let's hear from the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats who thanked all of you. And we must, again, if you weren't with us at the top of the show, we want to, again, thank all of those who have served our country in wars past and currently around the world as it is Veterans Day here in the United States. Either the two of you have had folks that served. I had an uncle that was a Marine. My father-in-law served in Korea. How about you all? Any servers?
My grandfather served in Vietnam.
Okay.
So there is that in my family.
My maternal grandfather, John Robert Reeve, died 33 years before I was born because he volunteered. He was a co-pilot in the Air. Well, it wasn't Air Force, didn't exist then. So it was the Army Air Corps. And he died over the English Channel before D-Day. So my mom was 2 years old when her father died. So, yeah, my maternal grandfather, lost his life in World War II.
Well, we thank him for his service as well as your relative as well, Dragon Ball, for their service as well. All of you out there, thank you so much. Here's the coach on all of you that have served our country.
Today's always a cool day, Veterans Day.
I'm sure everybody in the room either served or had someone they care about that served, and I just want to say thank you to the men and women of service that protect us and keep our country safe every day. I know it's a special day in my family. I have a bunch of people that have served, and so I just want to say thank you to all of them. It's cool here because of the base being close by. We have the cool youth impact program in the summer with our student athletes, and it's kind of focused on fitness and football and academics, and it's like a really cool program that our players are involved with. And so it's obviously a special day to our program and a special day around here.
That was Brent Brennan talking at his press conference a little bit earlier. It was the bye week last week. Wildcats getting set for the Houston Cougars. Brent on the bye week and getting back to techniques and fundamentals.
I thought it was good. It gave us a chance to really get back to some fundamental football, playing good on good, giving all the players a chance to, do a little more individual time, so you kind of get a chance to go back to a little bit of fundamental work. I thought it was really good. And then for our, all three phases of our team, it's a great opportunity to get into some self-scout and find out what our tendencies are and what are the things that keep showing up that we like to do and how we become predictable in any way. So there's a lot of hard work. It's also good for recruiting. All of us hit the road. I think that was really, really good to get people out and get them places to, see recruits play and also to fly the colors around all the areas that we need to fly the colors.
There you go. Arizona, of course, in the midst of a losing streak. Brent was very adamant about the need for the fan base to come out this Friday night and support the program and to be loud and to be extremely loud on third downs when the team is on defense and all of that. And you got to win 3 games to get to where you want to be, but you got to win 1 game first. And Brent talked about how his team is attacking what is ahead in this final quarter of the season.
How do you want this to feel every day, right? This last stretch of this brotherhood, right? How do you want this to end? And I think that's something that they all lean into heavy. And I think the, attacking the work and finishing this thing the right way is what everybody in the program should be all about right now. We have 3 games left, right? And they're all going to be tough. Right, but that's why you play the games, because every day you have a chance to. Every game you have a chance to win, and every game you have a chance to not win. So let's put everything we've got into these next 3 weeks, starting with this week, and starting with what we're doing right now.
Brent Brennan, the head football coach at the University of Arizona, as the Wildcats get set for Houston coming up this weekend. That is this Friday night. That is an 8:15 kickoff at Arizona Stadium. There's going to be a lot happening Friday night, and again, we could have that conversation as we go on this week. You've got Friday night college football competing with Friday night playoff high school football. There's going to be a number of games going on around southern Arizona. There's already been some calls to maybe consider rescheduling some of these games to get them off the same night that U of A is playing. Right down the street, Tucson High is going to have to play their home game, competing against the U of A. And so there's going to be a lot of different things happening. Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson. I mean, come on. There's other stuff going on.
You totally buried the lead. What about Cavs Bulls?
Cavs Bulls. That's the first. That's the first of our games in the tournament. What are they calling it this year? Is it?
It's sponsored by a Middle East airline now.
The Emirates.
Oh,
yeah,
the
Emirates.
It's called the Emirates tournament is what they're officially calling it,
I know that's the first game of the Emirates.
Which makes sense considering every single soccer tournament I watch over in England and Spain and everything is always sponsored by Emirates.
Yeah, a couple of years from now, you're going to see every single kit in the NBA look exactly like you see over there, which is scattered, the entire jersey scattered with sponsors.
You've got the one little patch of like a random advertise, like what was it? Bumble was on the Clippers at one point or something like that in the shoulder. So it's eventually going to happen where you got jerseys that look like NASCAR jumpsuits.
So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out in this soccer style tournament this year, which will end with the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals in Las Vegas coming up in mid-December.
The issue from last year. The last year's issue was it was all based on point differential.
Right.
So you get a situation where you're up by 35 and you're trying to kill the team to win by 55, and it's just kind of that's not really how NBA games usually work. You're trying to get your 10th, 11th, and 12th guys a couple of minutes. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that last year during the in-season tournament.
Yeah, the point system makes sense when you're talking about soccer, where you got 1 or 2 goals a game potentially,
and also like 10 games to pick from. But this whole tournament is like what, 3 total games?
3
before
total
the playoffs?
games in a sport in which you can win by as much as 1 to 35, and it's not necessarily the easiest way to do the points per game thing.
I like the courts. I like the whole concept. It's cool. I mean, it went off pretty much without a hitch. The teams that aren't expected to be there, like the Pacers, were not expected to be there. They were there in the finals last year. But that issue with the competitive balance of having score differential be the determining factor in tiebreakers in a short tournament like that was the only big problem last year.
They can be happy to say, though, that it's not as confusing as NASCAR's Cup Series tournament playoff format, because that is a mess. That is a mess.
All right, we're taking you right up to the top of the hour. We've got the Brent Brennan Radio Show back on Monday nights. It had gotten flexed to Tuesday the last few weeks because of the Arizona men's basketball team playing exhibition games and the season opener on Monday night. And then, of course, no show last week due to the bye week. But Brent is back with Brian at the Union Public House tonight, so head on over there. There's also a Ben, and I'll tell you about that on the other side. We'll also hear from Ben Matherin. He had a huge game in the NBA yesterday. Cricket, though, with a final live check with us inside of the show of your traffic every 20 minutes on the 5.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With collisions reported at Stone and Franklin and Stone Avenue, Euclid and Broadway Boulevard and Euclid. Also, Ina east of Old Father for a collision, and some backups for westbound travel. Travel headed westbound on Ina approaching Old Father. And for your weather, we're looking at about 49 is the overnight low, 72 and sunny tomorrow, and a 75 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Ready Whip.
This is the sound of holiday happiness. Yeah, Ready Whip. Fun to use, fun to eat. You're not ready for the holidays without Ready Whip.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you can win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Wildcat fans, are you ready for Friday Night Football under the lights? Your Arizona Wildcats are ready for a Big 12 conference clash against the Houston Cougars on Friday, November 15th. Kickoff is set for 8:15 p.m. We need you to bring the advantage at Arizona Stadium. Get your tickets now at ArizonaWildcats.com/FB or call the Arizona Ticket Office at 520-621-2287. Bear down. Go Cats.
Did you miss the big game? We got you covered.
How about the defensive line was probably reading all week how Utah's going to shove it down our throats.
All right, let's go to the phones. We'll start things off with Paul in Phoenix.
Glenn, you are spot on, my friend. It is technique. Everybody, technique. And I don't remember a defense since Dick Tomey playing with the technique that this team had tonight.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Wish Black Friday deals lasted longer? Good news. At Oro Ford, Black Friday deals last all month long. Get $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ford Expeditions, Ford Edges, and Ford F-150s. And Oro Ford's the only Ford dealer with 0 city sales tax and no dealer add-ons. Stuff your plate with savings all November long at Oro Ford's Black Friday sale. Take the easy drive from anywhere in Tucson. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Craving one-of-a-kind New Mexican-style cuisine? Visit Goyitas New Mexican Cuisine, where authentic Southern Mexico flavors meet family tradition. Now, enjoy the same delicious homemade Hatch green chili recipes by visiting Mama Goya at their newer location in Green Valley. With 8 TVs to watch your favorite game, a full bar, and a private room. Goyitas is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, or your next holiday party. And yes, you could pre-order your tamales now, just in time for the holidays. Whether you're in the mood for delicious homemade green chili clam chowder, gorditas, or green chili cheeseburgers. Enjoy Goyitas made from scratch recipes. Located off Duval Mine Road in Green Valley, or the original location in Oro Valley on Lambert and La Cañada. Visit GoyitasNMCuisine.com. Goyitas, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Goyitas. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Alaskan AC has been keeping people chill since 1972.
Oh, chill. Cool. I get it. It's a theme.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The theme is 72, as in 1972.
Is that why you dress like that?
$72 for an Alaska vacation.
Ooh.
$72 for a service call.
Neat.
Even $72 off any repair.
Whoa.
This month, it's 72, 72, 72 to celebrate 1972, the year Alaskan AC opened its doors.
And everybody was kung fu fighting. Everyone was streaking, too. Let's stick to what we do best.
That's right. A $72 Alaska vacation is the perfect way to prepare for the upcoming season. It's so good, we guarantee no breakdowns.
The $72 service call makes it easy to check any concerns. And saving $72 off any repair means that you can buy one of those cool banana seats for your rad bike. You have a weird definition of cool.
72, 72, 72. This month at AlaskanAC.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
This is Zach Gelb. The Sports Minute sponsored by Wendy's Any Size Soft Drink for $1. Following the Jets' victory against the Texans, I heard many Jets fans lay out a path to make the playoffs. Really, at 3-6 and being the biggest joke in the NFL, we had Jets fans assuming they had gimme games on their schedule. Yesterday, the Jets lost to the Cardinals by a score of 31-6, and Gang Green is now 3-7 on the season and showed you once again why the 2024 Jets are one of the most overrated teams in NFL history. I'm Zach Gelb.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? Because I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
All right. When it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Umar Ballo has played 2 games for the Indiana Hoosiers. He has shot the ball pretty well. 14 of 20 from the field in his first 2 games as a Hoosier. 4 of 6 from the line in his first 2 games as a Hoosier. 17 points and 9 rebounds in one game, 15 points and 16 rebounds in another game. So
it's
Umar
because the air
well.
has a lot more water content in it out there in Indiana, so free throw is much easier when you don't live in a dry climate.
Much easier to make, huh? One of Umar's teammates here at the University of Arizona had a really big game in the association last night. Ben Mathurin.
Siakam on the defensive effort. Now Halliburton. Mathurin's going to load a 3 and hit a 3.
Love it.
Mathurin is wide open again. Hits again from 3.
Yeah, McBride wouldn't let McConnell get where he wanted to go.
Mathurin again. Boy, has he looked good from 3. Mathurin guarded by Jericho Sims. Here's a step back 3 by Ben.
Oh, Big Ben! He's feeling it. He's feeling it. I can tell you that. I know that look.
Blocked by Turner. Taken by Mathurin.
Let's see, can you get a fast break out of it?
Count the basket and a foul. Here's Matherin for three. Count it again! Benedict Matherin has 30. Here's McConnell, guarded by Brunson, underneath to a cutting Matherin. Count it! And a foul!
A career high 38 points for Ben Matherin.
Yeah, so probably not a lot of people in Tucson paying attention to what's going on in Pacerland, but I've been watching that team, as I've said a lot, the last 2-3 years. I love TJ, love Ben. They got a couple of starters out, right? So Neesmith and Nemhard are both out, and those are guys who are huge parts of their push last year, right, in their deep run into the playoffs. What if I told you in the 6 starts, because Ben was coming off the bench. Obviously, he missed the last, I would say, 5th of the season last year with an injury, did not play in the playoffs. Last 6 starts, and in fact, just in November alone, the last 5 games, 23 points on 60% from deep. 60% from three-point land is what he's shooting in the month of November, and not 8 rebounds to go along with that. So really stepped into that role. Big double overtime win against Boston was the first game that he started. When he keeps it simple, that mechanics on his jump shot, he's got one of those really repeatable J's. So last night I watched that whole game. Every single shot, guys, look the same.
And not just with the recent injuries to their starters right now. There was a lot of people that were looking at the Pacers thinking, how are they going to get better with their outside shooting with the loss of Buddy Hield, because he's taken off to different pastures. And the fact that Ben has that long-range shot now, you're not really missing a lot of what Buddy brought to the team to now what Ben is now bringing to the team. He's really filled into that role and given them another layer to their guard play. Not just when you got the healthy guys that are in there for the usual starters, but now coming off of the bench and now starting in there. He's really filled in that spot.
They're by far the fastest paced team. So if you want to think about, the concept of what Coach Lloyd does here in Tucson, ramp that up times 10. And that's what the Pacers do. Rick Carlisle obviously out there. And in that system, you really need to be able to read and react. And Ben, has always been a great scorer. He's always been capable of being a great defender, possession by possession anyway. But right now, the biggest growth I've seen in his game these last couple of years, really good for him working with Tyrese Halliburton, who's has some of the best vision of any young player in the league right now. And you can tell he's making really sound decisions, passing up a semi-contested shot until a defender gets closer to him to kick it open to a wide-open Turner for a top-of-the-key 3 was the defining game possession in that game last night. Was not Matherin scoring one of his 38 points. It was him deferring and not forcing a look. In past years, we might have seen him take that shot.
Pacers have won 3 of their last 5, but the 2 losses to teams that aren't real good, Charlotte and New Orleans in that respect. But Ben, on his performance and the confidence he has right now shooting the basketball.
Just making shots. I was going in and I just kept making them. Yeah, and, I was able to get the pass from Ty or whoever was looking for me, and I made it.
Ben Rick was just saying that I asked him why you're shooting the ball better, especially from 3, and he said you're just getting better shots, basically. How do you see that as far as the shots that you're selecting, how you're getting open, what's giving you more opportunity to hit, especially from 3 right now?
I think I just get what the defense gives me, and I shoot the ball with confidence.
Tyrese Halliburton in that 132-121 win over the Knicks last night, 35 points, 14 assists for Tyrese. He talked about Ben and the growth that he's seen from his young wingman.
I think just the growth of his game. Obviously, having to sit last year, wanted to be on the floor, to experience that with us on the floor. It's sucked not having him out there. So I think he's just, answered the bell, been ready to play. You guys know who he is and how hard he works and how good of a scorer and player he is. So he's just doing what he does, honestly. It's not a surprise to anybody in the locker room. I think he's just playing the right way, and it's part of the growth of him as a player. And, this isn't a shock or a surprise by any means. He's just playing the right way.
Yeah, one thing people need to keep in mind is Rick Carlisle is firmly into that entrenched old school camp of head coaches where he doesn't want to give young players too much of a leash, right? He's trying to make sure that every teachable moment, DK, is sat right down next to him on the bench. And so famously, he didn't really play, even when he was a coach at Dallas and won the title, didn't really play rookies and guys until they were completely ready to contribute play after play after play. Ben had some splashes there as a rookie. He also got pulled from some games, defensive lapses, maybe a couple of forced shots. But Obviously, that time on the bench, watching those guys make that deep run to the conference finals was really like a big push for him, and he's playing really, really heady right now. Really impressed with his shot selection more than anything, and he's such a great scorer. It really depends on those shots you take. If you don't take dumb shots, you're going to make a lot of them.
Everyone in the NBA that plays at that level is an athlete. Ben Mathurin was an athlete when he was at the U of A. The one thing that separates the good players from the great players is intellect. If you can understand how best to affect a game, whether it be by passing up a shot or taking the right shot, that's going to be paying dividends for you with your ability to go ahead and play as your seasons progress. And Rick Carlisle, admittedly, he's a little bit short with rookies. He doesn't like to play them if he doesn't have to. And now that Ben has paid his dues, he's done what he had to look in Rick Carlisle's eyes and say, I'm ready. He's now ready, and he's making the right basketball play. And if you make the right basketball play under a Rick Carlisle system, you're going to get a lot of more opportunities to play moving forward.
All right, 520-848-1290. Some breaking news in the sports world. The Los Angeles Rams are getting ready to play the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football, and we are learning of the passing today of legendary Rams head coach as well as longtime USC head coach John Robinson, who has passed away today at the age of 89 from complications of pneumonia. John Robinson had two very successful stints as the head coach at USC. He was the coach when I was growing up in Los Angeles, walking the sidelines with the Trojans, and then went on to coach the Rams for a number of years. So our thoughts definitely out to Coach Rob and his family. A really, really great man and long-time legend in the Los Angeles area. John Robinson dead at the age of 89 due to pneumonia. Let's give you your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, the U of A triathlon team. U of A's triathlon team won the national championship this past weekend down in Florida, just outside of Orlando. They bested the rival Arizona State Sun Devils, who had had a stranglehold on the championship pretty much ever since they started competing on the college level in this sport. And we had a chance to talk to Kelly Wetteland, who finished second overall. She was the top finishing Wildcat individually at that event, and a young lady who did not come to Arizona initially to be a triathlete, but found out about this sport, found the sport, and has now become one of the Wildcats' best at it.
Honestly, I was pretty nervous at first. The way that triathlon works is that they recruit a lot of people internationally because it's not as popular in the States yet. But so coming into a team full of people that were veterans, that were just absolutely amazing at the sport and knew so much about it already was a little bit scary, but they became some of my best friends, and I've learned a lot from them.
So then how did you progress so quickly? What allowed you to kind of be the young performer who could kind of move to the top of the chart in terms of the 5 or 6 athletes that you guys are putting out there every competition?
Oh man, the hard questions, huh? I would say I was really fortunate to kind of end up somewhere with a great coaching staff like we have here. But I think I've been in sports my whole life, so I've always kind of had a drive to do stuff like this. And so just to be in this environment and to have these people really has allowed me to just become the person that I've kind of wanted to be.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, you can find that interview with Kelly Wetteland right now. Head on over to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com. Great conversation with her. You can also go back and listen to the interview we did with head coach Wes Johnson a few weeks ago when he talked about how he built this program so quickly to be in a position to even have a chance to win a national championship. So we appreciate the opportunity to talk to her. Also, our conversation with Kathy Guy of the Tucson Sugar Skulls, the owner, and the Sugar Skulls have helped to bring the Indoor Football League Championship game here to Tucson for the next 3 years. And we got a chance to hear from Kathy about the dynamics in her household where she owns one team, her husband runs and coaches another team in the same league, and how that all works. I hope she's got him bugged up.
I mean, we've all seen
because we need to steal all the trade secrets from Kevin Guy that we can to get the Sugar Skulls up and going in a championship.
We've all seen the mom who wears like the two sons are playing for either side, and so they wear the split jersey, like right down the middle. Like, I don't know what's going on there. The ownership and management, like, yeah. Real quick before we get out of here, get well soon to Chet Holmgren because he had a pretty bad fall and has a fractured hip, and he's going to be out. Yeah, that's a long way to fall for a 7'3" guy or whatever he is. So he's been playing great this year. He'll be out, I think, 6 to 8 weeks, but he plans to come back.
Yep.
Wow, that's tough to hear. Tough to hear because I know he's been having a really good start to this season on a really good young club there with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, and you hate to see that with those big guys just because, you know, the injuries are the one thing that can quickly derail a career for a big man in the NBA. And he's definitely a guy who's got a bright future ahead of him. So, and has had injury issues in the past. So best of luck definitely to Chet. All right, that's going to wrap up our show for today. Again, we've got shows for you coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday, shortened show by a little bit for Thursday Night Football. And then Friday, it is the mayhem that will be Arizona football and men's basketball on the same day. Again, our coverage on Friday will begin at 3 o'clock with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We'll have football here on 1290, basketball on 107.5. And then post and pre right here on 1290. Join us for a full day of talking Wildcats. Thanks to Kathy Guy. Thanks to Kelly Wetteland. Thanks to Cricket, J-Dub. My name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Coming up next, the Brent Brennan Radio Show live from the Union Public House. Have a great night, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together, sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Collisions reported Irvington east of Park Avenue. Pretty serious collision there. Going to be restrictions and some slowdowns on westbound Irvington approaching Park Avenue. Stone and Franklin reported Euclid and Broadway Boulevard. Ina east of Old Father with westbound backups. Also a crash on Catalina Highway at milepost 13. Looking at about 49, the overnight low, 72 and sunny tomorrow, and a 73 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Here at O'Reilly Chevrolet, we just celebrated 100 years, and it's truck season. And if that truck you've been driving around feels 100 years old, you know where to come. So see us today.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to support your Arizona Wildcat football team as they continue their season with another home game this Friday at Arizona Stadium.
This Friday, the Cats take on Houston. Kickoff is scheduled for 8:15 p.m.
To get your tickets, visit ArizonaWildcats.com or call 621-CATS. For more University of Arizona Wildcat football, including a complete schedule and